Here we go. Let's get this started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Open Gym. Obviously, you guys know why we're late. Hour on, but for what it's worth, the title does say Kevin Durant is the best NBA player to ever do it. I want to clarify. I just said I wanted the title to be Kevin Durant is the best to ever do it, and we was just going to talk about how Kevin Durant is the best USA basketball player ever. But they made it this. But Domo, how do you feel? Kevin Durant, is he the best Team USA player ever?
I guess he has an argument, but I wouldn't say so. I don't think he's me personally.
Yeah, what would you say?
Hey man, listen, I know I'm a hater. I know I give this guy a lot of shit. That man Melo a dog when he put the Olympic colors on, man. That boy Melo is different. Olympic Melo, bro. Olympic Melo? No, it's LeBron or Kobe for me.
Is that because they're the two best players to play, or because they perform the best?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. Okay.
The answer is yes. To both.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. I for sure have KD. I had never seen someone play as good as KD in this many. This is his fourth Olympics now. He's by far, in my opinion, the best scorer that Team USA's ever had. I think he's led Team USA in scoring in every Olympics he's been a part of. He's one of the most efficient players. And you just can't slow him down. For me, I look at it's KD. I don't know. It's KD. For me, it's KD. For me, I don't even know who second place is. I don't know. Maybe it's Melo, maybe it's Kobe, maybe it's Charles Barkley. I don't know, but I know KD is one. That's what I know.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Melo would be has to be second. I'm not gonna lie. Melo's up there. Melo's top 5. Gotta give
Melo top 5.
Something I never thought I'd hear Domo say in any context.
Exactly. As much shit as I give him, I gotta give him his just dues.
I think KD is the greatest, has the greatest Team USA resume, but
anyone ever played more than four
Olympics? I think Bron's the best. I thought I was saying something. But yeah, I think KD's the greatest. I think Bron's the best. I think everything Mar said is 100% facts, but like LeBron is also giving you great scoring and other things like the defense, the rebounding, obviously. In this specific year, with like the inconsistent offensive philosophy with Team USA, he's been their main facilitator and orchestrator. So that's why I think he's the best. First, KD clearly has the better resume, the greater resume.
KD's the greatest Team USA basketball player for sure. Right now, I think LeBron would have participated in more, like in 2020 and 2016 maybe. But
he participated in 4 though. That's the same number.
Yeah, but he got a bronze medal.
04. That's not really part.
Yeah, he's disqualified. He got a bronze medal.
Anyone played 4 Olympics like KD?
Huh?
Did anyone play for? Well, LeBron's played in 4.
He played in 4, but he didn't start on.
Melo played in. No, Melo played in 3. No, 04, 08, 12, and 6. Melo's played in 4.
Well, it's off topic. I love this.
Yeah, Melo's played in 4.
Yeah, so I would say KD for sure. KD's just an amazing. I mean, when he doesn't have to be the spearhead of an attack or like have to control it, dude's the best scorer of all time.
Like, KD's just a bucket.
He's a bucket. Best scorer of all time.
He's the most complete basketball player, man.
No, that's a different. No, but he's one of the best scorers.
Yeah, go out there and score and give you a bucket. Yes, a consistent scorer. Yes.
Oh no, and that was a good game. That France versus Japan game was a good game.
I don't know why Japan had to feel like they had to be that close. You should let that dude shoot. They're up 4, but
I don't know why. I don't know why people were mad at Penn. Like, he's making sense. I don't know why you would give another team an opportunity to win the game when it's tied. I understand, like, and plus the thing is he misspoke. He misspoke and people just kind of ran with that. So it's like, if you have
what happened at the end of the episode? What were they?
No, it's just that if you have a better chance of drawing a foul, like going for a layup instead of like taking a step back. I understand. I do think that was a bad shot. A step back 3 was a bad shot, but at the end of the game, you don't get. I wouldn't want to get the other team opportunity to win, especially if it's tied. And you shouldn't want to put the game in the ref's hands. Like, trying to look for a foul call at the end. I don't think you should do that. That's me.
See, Dev, what you're saying is different what Ken was saying.
What
Oh,
did
did he
Penn
say?
say? I didn't. What? I didn't hear.
What did he say?
I know Penn and Oxford literally in that scenario was like debate. Even in that situation, is it worth scoring on an open lane? That's what they were arguing specifically.
the Cade this man.
And the K just hate. Like I don't even listen to it when Penn talks about K. But
I
regardless,
mean, yeah. He is flawed, but then again, I think he deserves his match though. Like he deserves his money.
I mean, he's young. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I just Penn's a bit
it's
condescending.
weird. It's weird when you're not paying an athlete and you say an athlete don't deserve his money, but you're not paying him nothing.
Well, I mean, I think he's just looking at it from.
Hey, damn, what did Penn say?
He's comparing.
He said
yeah, he's not a match player. That what he said.
He's comparing it to like Luka, Shea, you know, like.
I'm sorry. He said Cade isn't a max player.
Cade Cunningham, yeah.
Yes.
He said you don't think he deserves the match.
That's just racism. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Damn.
That's just racism.
How many players he thinks are max players?
I mean,
From
it's
the young
different. It's a different NBA.
There's no exact number. It just depends on your leverage and situation of your organization.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. It's never been about, oh, this guy on the other side of the country is make this amount, so I should make this amount. No, how valuable are you to that franchise?
It's not like
Facts.
NFL. It doesn't work like the NFL. The NFL like NFL works like that. So like if Daniel Jones gets this amount of money, if I'm like Jordan Love or Dak Prescott, he gets this money. I need more money than him because I'm better than him. And NBA is different, and it's not like it's how Sturdy said it. It's more like that.
Can I ask what? Well, I wouldn't have to ask y'all. Y'all wouldn't know. I have to ask him. Excuse me. I would genuinely ask, what is a max player to him at that point? Then, because I mean, 3 seasons of work, 1 year he was injured, but the other 2 years, in terms of especially somebody at that age, 20 and 22, fairly productive year for a guy like that.
He said Cade being a bad defender who isn't an elite offensive.
But that's not true.
I'm just telling you what he said. He said Cade being a bad defender while not being an elite offensive engine, and then not showing shooting progress.
Not showing shooting progress.
Let him finish.
And as someone who is the highest usage player, leading shot taker, most turnovers on a team that was maybe the worst team of all time, we can look at the situation Cade's in, but at some point you have to start looking at Cade himself as part of the problem.
I mean, he's 22.
But he said
that was a large portion of it.
He said no shooting progression.
I mean, I think some of it can be a little fair, but it's still like.
The shooting progression part was just cut. But
he literally improved volume and percentage from 3 by almost 3%.
I'm just not judging.
And he's factually one of the better mid-range players in the league.
Did someone brought up Cade, or he was just randomly saying those things?
He had a similar volume on mid-range jumpers to Devin Booker and shot a higher percentage last year. And I mean, everyone ignores Devin Booker's one of the better mid-range shooters in the league.
He's a lot about his defense. He flat out lied about his defense too. So
what's Cade's contract? Is it 5 years, 224?
Yeah.
Or is it 4?
I think
with the
270 if he makes all NBA.
Yeah.
So 224 divided by 5 is 45. That's 45 million a year, basically.
Yeah.
With the salary, what's the first apron? 179? Is that what it is? Something like that? Was that the second apron?
I think that's the separate.
Is Cade Cunningham worth 25% of your cap? That whether or not how good you think Cade is or not,
is
Cade Cunningham worth 25% of your cap?
For the Pistons, absolutely. For this version of the Pistons,
I'm gonna say
absolutely.
if I'm the Detroit Pistons, yes, he is.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you want your team.
Yeah,
25% of a championship team.
It depends
on the question. 25% of a cap of a championship
team.
Well,
every team is trying. Well, not every team. Most teams are trying to build a championship team.
That's what I'm saying. So
if you're trying to build a championship team, would you pay Cade 25% of your cap?
That's the question.
Yeah,
that is the question.
It depends. It depends on the pieces I have around him and his upside. Yeah.
Would I pay Cade Cunningham in age 23?
Who does he think Detroit
24?
Should pay?
Okay. Would I pay Cade Cunningham in age 23, 24, 20, 25, and 26? That money, in context with predicting internal improvement, I think I would. Undoubtedly. Honestly, I think the contract is going to age relatively well.
Mm-hmm. I'm on the side of I would pay Cade, projecting how good I think he will be. Do I think he'll be worth 45 million in 2025, 26. Maybe not, but by the end of his contract in like 2029, 2030, yeah, I think 45 million for Cade is going to be I think it's going to go up to 270. I think he's going to make an All NBA team. Yeah. So yeah, I think Cade is going to be worth that level of money. But I don't like the idea that we're acting like it's crazy for someone to say Cade Cunningham isn't worth 25%.
Yeah, it's not a crazy statement.
I don't think
it's his reasoning. Like when you're familiar and you know the conversation that him and Damo had about Cade, and while Damo's actually bringing out his game and situation, while Penn's main argument was Vort. Yes, it's not so much the conclusion, it's his process to get into that conclusion.
Well, today he never brought up Vort. Today, well, the shooting part, like
today he didn't.
The shooting thing. That shooting thing was just.
I didn't.
It was just so true. But like today, he was. I mean, I'm just leave it at this. I'm going to be. Today, he was being disingenuous by saying the NBA determines a max player based off other people's contracts, and that's just not. That's like the smallest factor when it comes to determining if a player gets max contract.
I mean, I think, like. I think that it's kind of weird for him specifically to be the person who said that, because I don't think he showcased, like he said, that he had any issue with Scottie Barnes' contract, for example.
He said Scottie and Franz deserved theirs.
Yeah.
And Scottie, after the trade, right, or after the Pascal trade, actually, if you look across the board from that point on, he actually had like worse, like one number of metrics than K. He had a lower EPM. I think they had like similar other like.
Scottie closed the season hurt.
What's
right?
EPM?
Scottie missed like the last, I want to say, month and a half.
I'm saying no.
He only played 6.
He missed some time. Yeah, he missed some time. But so did Cade, to be fair, after that point. But I'm saying, like the games that he played where the situation was less than ideal, all of his one numbers across the board went down. When in comparison, obviously earlier in the year, he was looking like top 15 in some of these metrics or whatever, which just goes to showcase that like these numbers are less than ideal in describing like a young player's future value because of how dependent they are in context. Like Cade he should not have a 30 usage, right? Everyone can acknowledge that he's not this Luka level heliocentric primary, but who said he was? And does he have to be that to be worth 45 million in the year 2027?
No.
If Cade views him as the clear negative on defense, he views him as. I think that was his point.
But I mean, Cade and every other level of basketball that he's played, he's been a plus. He can guard multiple positions. He has good tools, obviously, plus positional size. He's smart. You know, I think.
I mean, his turnovers.
That's also what Penn said. Penn did say, watching Cade at Montverde and watching him at Oklahoma State to a lesser degree, he thought Cade was going to be a good defender in the NBA. He said to this point, Cade Cunningham has been a bad defender. And he's saying if Cade is a bad defender in the NBA, which is what he's shown so far, he thinks he has to be an offensive engine.
Is that fair?
Not like Luka, but that's what he said. He has to be an offensive engine.
I can understand what he's saying.
Max, in comparison to Franz and Scottie Barnes, who are elite two-way players, he thinks if
elite two-way players,
these are his words. Don't get mad at me. If those guys are elite two-way players, they justify the max because they provide exceptional value on both sides of the ball. Whereas Cade is providing bad value on defense. He has to be an offensive engine to the level of the elite offensive engines who can provide one-way value. That was his opinion. Now, if you disagree with any of that, it's fine, but that's what he said.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, ain't be wrong. Like, I don't think Cade's been that bad of a defender, but it makes sense. Like, if you're a bad defender and you're not like a high-level offensive engine guy like a Trey, Luka, Prime Harden, Jokic, it doesn't make sense because like you're just getting like average offense and bad defense.
But you disagree, but that's what I'm saying.
If
you disagree completely with the premise, then I think it's just bail to be like, oh yeah, but like in theory, if every other thing he said was right, yeah, the opinion makes a lot of sense. It's like,
yeah, it's not a crazy.
But Chill literally brought this up, and is once again, y'all. I think y'all taking Penn's premise and spots and pose the whole thing. When Chill then responds by saying we got to take out his situation, like having 3 different coaches in a 5-year span. I mean, on the span that Cade been on the team, like the fact that they kept trading different players, especially key shooters. What the Penn reply was?
I don't know.
See, those like when a player gets drafted, situation matters. When a player gets his contract negotiation, situation matters. But every time Damo, Chill today brought it up, What do Penn do? Ignore it.
Oh, I didn't.
That's the disingenuous part.
And that's why I disagree with Penn because, like, to be fair, like his turnovers, even though some of his turnovers are his fault, like it's also due to him having bad spacing, not a lot of room to operate. And like you said, he has had great coaching in his career so far. So like this team isn't like really great constructively. They're all developing. Like you have some like young stars, but you know he's the best one, and everybody else still like, has to come along.
Yeah, the organization's not the best, so yeah, you can't.
Is it more about what he projected Cade to be and him not being the player?
I mean, to be
That's why he's angry.
even the turnovers though, a lot of those came after. Like one thing that nobody ever adds context for is that he literally came off a year-long layoff. He came off a year-long layoff and he was immediately asked to be the primary of the team before he could get a rhythm, before he could get a feel for one of the worst teams in the entire league. The last 25 games of the year, he averaged less than 3 turnovers. He averaged exactly 2.9. People talk about the efficiency. I think like in the calendar year of 2024, he had almost a 57 true shooting percentage, which when you take into account the circumstance, that's fine efficiency. That's pretty good for, you know, to be playing in the worst spacing in the league. And I think the defense part is fair. Cade hasn't been as good a defender as he was in every other level of basketball. But most people are not going to play defense when you're playing with like a 15 point differential margin for 35% of the game. Yeah, you're going to zone out at times. That's part of the reason. Like nobody on that team played defense. Jaylen Green was expected to be a pretty solid anchor, maybe not DPOY level or anything, but he was objectively bad on that end. So I don't know.
Yeah,
The question is, has any player ever been at that level in his rookie contract and didn't get that extension?
The only answer right now is Sengun, right? But he's gonna get it. But he obviously hasn't got it.
Yeah, he will get it.
He's gonna get it. But
yeah, I mean, I think we're debating something that just hasn't happened. Like I've never seen a team give up on a player who's at that level in his rookie contract. That has never happened. So yeah, but I wanted to. I'm sorry for changing the topic, but I want to go back to the title. I want to challenge the title actually.
Go ahead.
Because the title says NBA, not USA. So
that's because, hey, once again, I ain't asked for. I'll read you out because I want to clarify. I want to read what I asked for the title to be because I clearly don't have full control of this. This is what I said. Open gym. Kevin Durant is the best to ever do it. The thumbnail was meant to be KD with his gold medal from 2012, KD with his gold medal from 2016, 2021, and then KD and Team USA uniform this year. Where I was going to say KD is the best Team USA player ever. But because for whatever reason, I guess the algorithm, the titles have to have the word NBA in it. They've just added the word NBA player. I ain't asked for that. I ain't asked for that. So I just want to clarify. I ain't asked for that.
Yeah. So I would argue that Manu's gold medal with Argentina is probably the most impressive basketball championship ever. I would make that argument. Like
ever?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, you could make that argument. A team other than USA winning in the Olympics is always going to be
when Team USA sends in actual professionals too, not when Yugoslavia won it.
Yeah,
college.
And by the way, people act like the team was weak. No, the worst player on that team was still better than the best player on like all of the other
was
teams.
Gross though, if I remember for that.
I always find it funny that somehow Tim Duncan just escapes.
Bro, Mars, can we do
criticism and blame?
I always do find that
Mars.
Tim Duncan gets away with
same way he didn't get any criticism for getting outplayed by David West, but it is what it is.
I think Tim Duncan.
It is what it is. KG missed the playoffs 2 years in a row.
AI too.
I guess as people that don't talk about it.
Shout out to Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan receives the least amount of scrutiny of any top 10 player, in my opinion.
Because he has the least. Because he has the least. That's why.
Huh?
No, but football, to your point, he has the least. What scandals do he have? What any negative? I'm answering. Like, and all the guys in the top 10, what negative narrative that associated with Tim Duncan outside he's just born?
If he got held to the same standard of scrutiny as guys like Kobe, and LeBron, and MJ, The fact that he lost to an 8 seed Memphis Grizzlies while Zach Randolph clearly outplayed him would be brought up. And even if you want to bring up the injuries, that's fine. I've heard Kobe losing to Dallas get held against Kobe more than I've heard 2011 get held against Tim Duncan. And Kobe was injured in that series. And Kobe was better than Tim Duncan in that series against Memphis. And Kobe wasn't the number 1 seed that year. I've heard that be used against Kobe way more than I've heard that be used against Tim Duncan. And both of them were injured, and only one of them was a 1 seed that lost to an 8 seed.
To be fair,
Duncan undoubtedly gets less criticism than any.
To be fair, though, you know
he doesn't have a cult following like those people. Also,
he also doesn't have as many diehard fans who are going to lie about.
He doesn't have that.
He's just not
there's that too. I understand. There's both sides.
Bro,
Kobe fans are going to lie about him in ways that are crazy, but Tim Duncan doesn't have the guys who are going to criticize him the way they criticize guys like Kobe. And I think both things are true.
I had that argument with Lowe before.
Tim Duncan is never considered in the GOAT debate. Also,
he's considered top 5.
I mean, it is also arguable. It is also arguable in that
he's not considered consensusly top
5. He's considered unanimously top 10.
Yeah,
occasionally top 5.
And plus,
but that's the same as Kobe, though. That is the same as Kobe. Kobe's not
he doesn't receive nearly the scrutiny.
Yeah, but Kobe also
there are literally professional players saying Kevin Garnett was better than him because he had less help.
No, I think KG.
I mean.
Are you serious?
You think KG was better than
how many people?
Okay,
but if they're not better, I think they're on the same level. I think they're on the same level, peak for peak.
All I'm saying is, KG.
I'm still going.
I'm fine with that. I can go either way
because he was going to the finals consistently.
By the way, USA lost to Puerto Rico,
on your peak list, right? You have top 10, right?
Yeah. So who? I mean, Carlos Arroyo was the best player.
Yeah, Carlos Arroyo. Yeah.
So then I don't want to hear anyone say that. Oh, Kobe and Shaq didn't go. I don't care. You don't need Kobe and Shaq to be Carlos Arroyo. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't just Kobe. It wasn't just Kobe and Shaq. It was like 10 players. Like 10 players. Like literally said no.
Just went, bro.
Yeah, but Tim Duncan in 04 was considered a top 4 player on the planet, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, he was the best.
I was there too.
He was there. Yeah. I mean, I said 4 just to be safe because I don't know how Kobe fans and KG fans feel about it. So I said 4 to be safe.
It just bothers me when Tim Duncan gets ranked ahead of Shaq. Like I don't get it. Me personally,
you could make an argument. I mean, if you go based on career,
if you go based on like career, KG, Shaq, Kobe had a Tim Duncan career, it wouldn't have been a discussion with Tim Duncan. You know that, right?
What is that?
The career Tim Duncan had, and it's still be considered in this debate. If other people like Kobe, KG, and Shaq had this kind of career, they wouldn't be compared to Tim Duncan.
Can you slow down?
What does that mean? They'd be compared to players above.
Okay, I will slow down. Let Dom.
I heard what you said. You said if KG and Shaq had the career Tim Duncan had, they wouldn't be compared to Tim Duncan. Does that mean they'd be compared to players above Tim Duncan or players below Tim Duncan?
Of course, above.
Oh, okay, so Tim Duncan gets underrated.
Tim Duncan would have title. No one would talk about Tim Duncan. They would say he just didn't win.
I mean,
he would be talking about an underrated player, very underrated player. That kind of debate.
Kobe gets more criticism for not winning Finals MVPs next to Shaq than Tim Duncan does for not winning a Finals MVP next to Tony Parker. So, like, that's fine. Like I said, it goes both ways.
Both criticism.
I mean, to be fair,
once again, I'm not saying I agree with the criticism. I'm saying objectively, Tim Duncan gets less. I don't know why people act like I'm saying criticize.
I'm not going to.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said you said that.
I didn't
say that. You said
this feels like a really weird semantics argument though, because it's like the reason he's not getting scrutiny is because he's not getting talked about. Like people don't have daily conversations.
I disagree.
People don't have daily conversations about him.
He does get talked about.
We do.
No, it's an abundance of reasons. One of the reasons his fan base isn't toxic, like other fans in the top 10.
Okay.
It's
I have a question.
In my opinion,
as big of a fan base as Kobe and Shaq.
I have a question then.
Yeah.
Why isn't Shaq getting glazed like he gets criticized? I don't think it's always 50-50. Shaq gets criticized.
Shaq is a perfect balance. Shaq gets a perfect balance.
No, it's not. It's not. Shaq gets criticized way more than he gets.
Well, he's brought some of the critiques on himself recently.
I've never seen anyone
when people mention the most dominant seasons, they mention Shaq. When people mention the most game-changing players, they mention Shaq. Like it's a combination of both.
But
They
they
mention
don't
his
rank
flaws
him
with his
high
strengths as
because
well.
I'll put it this way: Tim Duncan for being the quote unquote best player, top 3 player on that Team USA 2004. If that was Kobe that failed like that, we'd hear about it a lot more.
LeBron gets more criticism for 04 than Tim Duncan.
Facts. It's crazy. It's weird.
Yeah,
That's
but
objectively
LeBron,
true.
That's your second
That
year.
that's a fact. LeBron criticism don't make no sense at all, though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
And
Once
LeBron was
again,
like
I'm not
19,
saying
wasn't
it's fair or it makes sense. I'm saying objectively,
Yeah, like
LeBron
bro,
gets criticized more for 04
when
than
we
Tim
talk
Duncan.
about Tim Duncan and we talk about his positive and weakness, I rarely hear the Olympics brought up. Like
You know, it's their fans who criticize each other. They go on a fight with. So
But anyway.
no one.
What?
I don't know what
Hmm?
he's
And LeBron was like 19
No, but
in
with the Shaq,
2004, right?
but with the Shaq thing though, Shaq gives the balance. Shaq does get a balance. I don't know.
I don't think it's about. I've never seen anyone.
This is such a
actually-
weird thing to argue about, bro. Who gets dick sucked the most? Like nobody cares, bro. Let's
No,
just talk
I
about them as
literally-
players.
Oh,
I
I
do
can't
believe
be
it's
the most
unfair.
hated player in the league right now.
Also, I remember saying last open gym that LeBron's a better scorer than Embiid. So can someone tell me how Embiid played in the first game?
Yeah, so his
Are you
football,
talking
we
about
don't
a
say this
better
game football.
Olympian or like in
Yeah,
the
we don't say this game
No,
football.
player.
We're talking about the difference between Olympics and NBA.
Yeah,
Stop this hate. Stop this hate logic you own, bro.
No. I will love to hear
LeBron James
people-
doesn't score the basketball better than Joel Embiid. I don't care. Joel Embiid can score
okay.
0 points for the whole Olympics. I'm not changing my mind.
Oh,
So, I
that's
don't care.
ignorant to me. But go ahead.
That's fine. I'm sorry, the Olympics doesn't correlate to the NBA.
It's basketball. It's not NBA. It's
Not
basketball.
all basketball
It's
is
not the
same.
same rules.
Not all basketball
I
is
know
the
it's
same,
not.
man.
That's the
Stop.
point.
What?
LeBron
What is
showed
Wait.
you
Hold
versus
on. Wait. Football. So Joel Embiid, when we're in the NBA season, scores better than LeBron James. But because LeBron James scores better than Joel Embiid in Olympic basketball, you say he's a better scorer
No,
of
the
the
drop
basketball.
off is
In
not
one
as
game of
drastic.
Olympic basketball, one game.
To be
It's not
fair,
one game. You've seen the prior games as well.
is
leading up
Embiid
to
not
Olympic
literally
games.
playing hurt though?
Oh, now he's hurt. Got it.
Nah.
I mean, he literally is.
He's been-
Yo,
Wait.
football. Your hate needs this. Needs
It's not
therapy, dog.
hate, it's assessment. So what would we
So
say?
wait,
if
so
LeBron had-
is Giannis the best scorer in the
No. It's not even about that. If LeBron had 4 points in an Olympic game and was the only minus player in a 26-point victory, what would we be saying today?
I mean,
Why do LeBron
What would
fans do
I be
that?
saying? I'm
No,
not saying
it's
what would
not.
I be saying?
what would I be? Or if you're,
I
saying what
don't
would
think you
I don't-
understand
I don't
how
think-
little
I don't think you're
I don't think
revealing-
you understand how little I take any of this to mean.
I'm about to say, yeah. If you want my act, you want me to be honest with you? What would I say? Nothing, nigga. I would be talking about Bronny. I would be talking about Lonzo's improvement.
I don't even care that
Jason
Tatum.
It just depends on the. It just depends on
I
the.
don't care.
I wouldn't be
I'm not
saying
gonna lie.
nothing.
Team USA
Wait,
wins
wait,
whether Joel
wait.
Embiid gives you 40 or if he gives you 10. I don't care. Like,
Y'all
that
have
don't-
to stop. Y'all,
Wait, hold on. Does LeBron score 4 and they lose? That's the bigger question. Does LeBron score 4
Y'all
and they
have to
lose,
stop. Even
or do they win?
even if
No,
you
they
win,
win.
even if
Oh,
you
if
win,
they win,
LeBron,
I don't care.
Look,
If
the
they win, I don't
the
care.
masses would hate on LeBron, absolutely, but the masses are hating on Joel Embiid.
they
So
wouldn't
that's
just
fine.
hate on him. If LeBron was 2 for 6, right? No prior injury, no nothing. Nigga, the automatic assumption would be, damn, is there a regression because he's fucking 40? Like that. Like, why are y'all lying? Like that wouldn't be.
That's the conversation.
That
No,
wouldn't be.
no,
Are
I'm
we
saying
acting
that.
like we
Stop.
acting like we
Eli,
don't
stop.
see
If
the
LeBron was
timeline
getting
talking
live
about
on
Joel
the
Embiid?
timeline by Israelis,
Stop arguing me with the masses and what other people are saying, because I didn't say that. I said,
That's
he
probably
asked me
what-
what I said. He asked what would I be saying right now, and I reassured him and said, are you asking what I would say? Me personally, what I would say? What I would say is nothing. I'm not arguing what the masses would say. Yes, you're right. The masses would argue X,
I'm not
Y,
even
and Z.
saying the
They will have
masses.
conversations about X, Y, and Z. I get that. But me, I'm not
That's
having
not
that.
what
No,
I'm saying.
did the masses
I
ever
can
say that
under-
Melo's
wait,
better
wait,
than
wait,
LeBron because of the Olympics?
He addressed my point. I would like to address his point. I can understand why you're saying that in theory, Dama. I'm not even saying what the masses would say. I'm saying, and this might not be how you see it, but if LeBron genuinely was struggling to get transition buckets against IDF soldiers, yeah, bro, I would look like, damn, at 40, is it going downhill? With Embiid, I can look at him and be like, he's literally coming off of a torn meniscus. I mean, they don't really need him to put a lot of pressure. His the way that he plays, where he catches the ball a lot of the times on the elbow, or he's catching it on the block. Defenses are loaded. There's no 3 seconds here. He's a below the rim finisher for the most part. Like, yeah, bro, it makes a little bit of sense of why he's struggling when you put everything in a context. But if LeBron couldn't get transition buckets off against IDF soldiers, yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck, LeBron? Or if he couldn't score in isolation, well, he's had some moments like that. But if he consistently was getting stonewall 1v1 against like Sudanese forwards, yeah, I'd be like, damn, what's going on, bro? But that's
why are we talking about
fine. Eli, that's fine. But are you going to take that into? Are you now going to have a conversation of? I mean, I guess Derek White, because he's actually able to get it off. I guess Derek White's a better scorer than LeBron now, huh? Are you going to say that now too?
But he hasn't
probably not.
Hey, damn football. No one said nothing to you. I asked Eli. I even said Eli.
But he hasn't bested the difference.
I asked Eli. But I asked Eli.
There's no evidence.
But I asked Eli. I asked Eli a question. I asked Eli a question.
There's no
I asked Eli a question though.
It's actually
football. I asked Eli exactly. And LeBron's not playing bad. I'm asking a genuine question. I'm just asking a question. Damn. Again, Eli.
How did this become about
if LeBron is struggling to score, but other people like Derek White is able to score playing Olympic basketball, are you going to say, damn, Derek White's a better scorer than LeBron now? Eli?
No, I think that football is
okay, and there we go.
But the only reason I was just saying that when Mars was like, I don't take any of this into context, or like, I mean, at the end of the day, they are hooping and they're playing against lower levels of competition. It should look easy at times. Like when they want it to look easy, it should look easy. That's all I'm saying. And if it didn't look easy, yeah, I wouldn't just throw it aside. Be like, it's just the Olympics, because it's not like they're not trying to win. But I agree with the point that you can't say LeBron is a better scorer than Embiid simply because he's performing better in the Olympics.
How many times football times? How many times gonna answer that question?
To do anything.
How many times like literally the 12 game sample size, no back to backs, and half the game don't count. On a team that you would not experience most of your career. You would not play on a more talented team than when you play on a Team USA settings.
And he was the only minus player can muster 4 points. But what do I know? Missed all of his free throws too. Whatever. Y'all got it though.
Football. Oh yeah, that's why I don't. Yeah, that's real proof that Joel Embiid. Yeah, the 90% free throw shooting.
I just know if the numbers.
That's the proof that Joel can't score.
Someone would bring it up.
We wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't be doing. You would bring it up. Honestly, you would bring it up because you want to talk about it. You would bring it up.
Me and Joma were the same one saying it didn't matter that Jason Tatum didn't get off the bench. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't think you understand. First of all, I don't care about the Olympics in general. Second of all, I'm not even American, so I don't care what happens to Team USA. That's part two. And third of all, none of these games are going to prove anything to me because A, there's only 12 of them, and B, they aren't NBA basketball. So me saying Joel Embiid is the best scorer in the NBA is not changed by what he does in FIBA rules. That's irrelevant.
Mars. Also, hold on, Eli, real quick. Mars, we were also the same people last year when Brandon Ingram was playing like shit. That was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. Like, this isn't going to carry into the NBA season. I don't look at him any differently because Chilltown. But I'm talking about at the time. At the time of it happening is what I'm saying. At the time of when he was playing bad, me and Mars both had the standpoint of, I'm not really worried. I'm not worried at all. Now, should we have been worried? Maybe. Okay, maybe. Hindsight 2020. Did he go on and have a bad year? Yes. But at the time in that summer, it was not I'm about to move him down now because he looks bad. He genuinely looked bad last year. Last summer, he looked bad. Did not think that, this is indicative of what we're going to see this next season. So, again, Olympic shit, I genuinely don't care. The Embiid shit I'm saying is trolls. I don't really care. Like I was hating on him for foul baiting before. Now I throw deport him on top of it. Like come on, gang. It's not that deep. Other than that, I don't care about what's going on with the Olympics. Anybody can play bad.
It's just for entertainment.
Yeah, and by the way, LeBron played in 4 Olympics. He never led the league. He never led the team in scoring, and no one ever said anything.
You know why? Because he says Jack. Because volume.
No one has ever said anything about LeBron.
No one the question is scoring though. Like we never questioned D Wade as scorer. We never questioned Kobe as scorer.
Yeah, I've never seen a
We're not
player
gonna
get
question
doubted
Ant as
for
a
how he
scorer.
performed in the Olympics. I've
Like
never
Curry
seen.
shoot 30% from three. We're not gonna in this Olympics. We're not gonna question as a 3-point shooter. We're not gonna do that.
Oh, the line's shorter and Steph's still not shooting 40% for three. Has Steph regressed? Like, shut up. Like, I'm not hearing this. I really like. I don't. It doesn't mean anything. This isn't proof that someone who averaged way less points, was less efficient, shoots worse from damn near every spot on the floor that isn't right at the basket, is somehow now a better scorer because he scores
How
more
was he in the
Olympics.
playoffs, Marge? How were they in the last playoffs?
He led the playoffs in scoring.
Yeah, and he was a worse scorer than Bron. Who gives a fuck? What are you talking about? He was in the playoffs. He was a worse scorer.
Bro, but listen, I just want to wait. I do think to say like
This is insane, man.
I do think it shows you like,
and it's a valid.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a Bron fan myself.
I do
Football,
think it.
how do you decide on who you crashing out on each day? Like, this is crazy.
No, Damo, he has a schedule. He has a
LeBron,
calendar.
I mean,
certain
To be fair,
indicators.
He was not a better scorer in the playoffs.
To be fair, when the team had a game where people were like, the results were iffy or whatever, it became like a talking point to like, oh, one of the team's bigger issues is the fact that LeBron can't beat the corner or whatever, or that he can't beat some of these guys off the dribble. It's like you immediately the assertion that he had a lack of ability to do something was made. There was no, oh yeah, maybe he's not exerting as much energy. Maybe he's not trying that hard. Oh, the comp doesn't matter. It's just Olympic place. Like, that is an issue. And then he addresses that issue, and it's like, no credit for it.
I can't believe we spent like 15 minutes talking about this, to be honest. Yeah, please.
But Demon...
Mo said assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. W show.
Walaikum salam.
Rod asked the question: who is better, Cade or Scottie? Scottie Barnes, not
Scottie.
You said not even close.
I got Cade.
Yes, at this point, Scottie Barnes is clearly better than Cade.
Cade over both.
Nah, I got Cade.
He's not clearly better.
I got Cade. Yeah, it's not clear though.
I got Scottie.
I got Cade.
I think Scottie.
That's just me though.
Like I said, if you pick Scottie, like it's
Cade been on the trash team. We can't really show you what he can do.
I can understand where you're coming from if you pick Scottie.
If you were asking me right now today, I got Scottie, but going forward, I'm gonna pick Cade.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, that was interesting. Drink More Water said, I thought Penn would realize in the NBA you pay for potential versus production. Half the players that got a max don't deserve their max, but they are young with potential, so you pay for the future player. Basically saying Cade will become worth the $45 million.
Yeah,
like, been productive too, though. He hasn't.
That's basically the question I asked about. Is Cade worth 25% of a cap, and will he become? Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how. Like you said, he called like Scottie and Franz like elite two-way players. Like I don't even.
I don't know if the word he said was. I don't want to misquote him. I don't know if the word he said was elite, but he definitely called them legitimate two-way players. He definitely said that.
I think Scottie is just like good on or solid on defense. Like he overhelps a lot.
His defense is better in theory than it is in practice.
He overhelps a lot. He's still not great on the ball, especially at the POA.
He be clamping. I don't know. Every time I watch, he be clamping.
He gets a lot of shots, and people value blocks and skills. But I don't think he's like.
How many players from his draft class are better than him?
Better than Scottie or Cade?
Cade.
In my opinion, none, bro. I'm gonna keep it real, but
man, Sengun clears, man. What we doing right now? Sengun the best
players in the 21 class better than Cade.
He's not a demon, bro.
All I know, I'm still on the train that Franz is Orlando's best player.
So. Pull up the 21 draft, buddy. I actually think
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm like,
Jaylen Green,
that's
Scottie, Jalen Suggs.
The only ones who I think are arguable over Cade is Mobley, Barnes, Franz, and Sengun. Everyone else is bad.
Yeah.
I would just say
you really. There's no way.
Franz and Sengun are the only arguable ones, honestly.
Sengun is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think how you argue Mobley.
This Eli guy hating on Sengun.
I can understand.
I don't hate on him, bro. He's not better than Demon Mobley though. Like, let's be real, bro. You building a title.
I didn't say he was. I said Mobley was part of a group that I said could be better than Cade. See, you just trying to hate. I said Mobley was in that group. I said Mobley, Barnes, Franz, and Sengun.
It's really just Mobley, Cade.
Yeah, they better.
Them the two demons, bro. Them the two demons, and then you got Sengun, Scottie, Franz.
See what I mean? He just be hating. That's what I mean. He just be hating.
I still have a question for you and your Rockets. I want to change topics. But it's like I remember that stretch when like he got hurt and like Jabari and Jaylen Green kind of played better. Like I'm not saying Sengun's like it's his fault, but do you think those players when he like for a full season can do that with Sengun, or like do you think the offense kind of changed, or like
Nah,
it opened, or
The
like
offense was trending in the direction it was going. Sengun going out just happened at a time where people could use that as an excuse to say, "Oh, look, Sengun was holding them back." Nah, the team was playing better post All-Star break anyway. We was winning games before Sengun went down. That game against the Kings, we was winning in large part because of Sengun. Like it was coincidental timing. I think Jaylen Green, in theory, is like the perfect complement to Sengun. In theory. Now, can he actually shoot the ball? I don't know. But if he could, in theory, perfect compliment. And Jabari is a versatile 4 who can shoot the 3, can guard up multiple positions. Like that versatility, in theory, perfect compliment to Sengun, especially once he gets stronger. And they need to unlock that mid-range game more with Jabari too. Like, in theory, they're perfect compliments. And then Reed will be a great compliment for him too. The only like questionable fit. The only one who I think is like questionable in terms of fit might be Cam. Everyone else I think fits perfect.
It's just he's a straight bucket.
Why do you think Jaylen is such a good fit?
Because the ability of him to turn the corner of things like DHOs, his feel for cuts, and once again the theoretical upside of him being able to shoot the basketball.
You said him turning the corner, right?
Yes, him turning the corner.
I in my opinion, I think that they have like.
You feel that's a better combo than Reed and Sengun? Sorry, my mic is gone? I don't know.
Go ahead.
No, it's not the mic. It's not the mic.
You just
go ahead.
Yeah.
I just ask, is that a better combo than Reed and Sengun? Jaylen and Reed. Sorry, Jaylen and Sengun.
Oh, is Reed a better combo as a person with Sengun instead of?
Is that combo of Jaylen and Sengun a better combo than Reed, Shepherd, and Sengun?
Yeah,
I think the floor, Reed, Shepherd, and Sengun's floor is higher because Reed's ability to run a pick and roll, his ability to space the floor on and off the ball. Although I would like to see
we got to see the shooting though. We got to see the shooting.
I would like to see more pull up threes out of pick and roll for Reed, but just generally speaking, the floor is higher. Also, Reed is more engaged defensively, which is great. Even though I don't think he's going to be a great defender, but more engaged. But the upside, I think, is Jaylen and Sengun. Upside wise, I think that's a perfect.
I think you think I'm not going, bro. Jaylen, you gotta let that dream go, bro.
Like, the thing is though, you do give.
You ain't about to tell me a player who was capable of doing. I'm sorry, like, hey, I've been on this Jaylen Green train since before he even went to Ignite. So it's gonna take a lot for me to get off the train. And then B, you're not about to show me a player who was capable of doing what he did in a stretch of the season where we were trying to make the play-in and tell me I gotta give up on the upside. I'm sorry, I seen the upside. I seen it.
Nah, I think you seen talent, which he has. But also, I think like when you talk about their 2-man game, honestly, I think that because of like how Jaylen operates ball screens and what he wants to get to when he gets a ball screen, I think that's part of the reason why they had a decent bit less synergy than Sengun had even with Fred, where Jaylen, he kind of loves to get to that left, get back to the right on like a change of direction move, where there's like an in-between, where Sengun, sometimes he wants to flip the angle. He wants to get rolling left, basically, where there's like a lot of the times the spacing is set up where
they get into each other's way sometimes.
Yeah, there's a single side. There's a single side on the left, or not even a single, but there's only one shooter in the left. Let's say it's Jabari, for example, and he wants to roll that direction, get it in a pocket of space, and like maybe dribble drive, maybe hit a floater. Just do Sengun stuff. And Jaylen, kind of the opposite way. If it's not even just the shooting. I mean, if the drive, he's been really bad on driving layups. I think he's like one of the worst players in the league on driving layups percentage wise.
He's one of the best in March, but well, I guess.
I mean, yeah, he had a great month, but it's like
upsides.
That upside isn't just. I don't know, man. Upside isn't just upside. It's like how exceptional is that upside?
I didn't say it was probable. I didn't say it was reasonable, but I seen it. And for me, everyone knows how I feel about Jaylen Green. If I've seen that, you aren't about to tell me to get off the train. I'm sorry. I was dangling off the train in December when he looked like maybe the worst player in the league. Everyone heard. I was like, hey, he might be out the league soon if he keep playing like this. But then, hey, March just reeled me back in. And then guess what? I'm now back on the train. He has a bad year 4. I'm with it. I'll be off the train. He has a bad year 4. I'm with it. Bro.
Do you see Jaylen Green ever making first team All NBA? And if so, what year?
No, I think the way the game is going, you can't. I think the way the game's going, you can't be a sole scoring guard without playmaking.
Second team, third team.
I think the way the game is going, the teams are now not.
I know 1 through 15.
So yeah. I just don't think you can be a sole scoring guard and be an all NBA player in the NBA.
You think you'll progress to that level? I guess is my question.
I think if everything goes perfectly, he will be one of the best scorers in the NBA.
But Mars, if we'll take.
And what is that like? Exactly.
If it don't work out. If it don't work out,
I don't know where. I just think he'll be one of the best scorers.
We'll take Jaylen in Atlanta. If y'all don't want any young players, we'll take him in Atlanta.
If Jaylen's going anywhere, if Jaylen's going anywhere, it's to Phoenix. Like I think that's
we'll
pretty
take
much
Ben Thompson too. We'll take him in Atlanta too.
Shut up. But yeah, I think Jaylen showed the flashes are just too high for me to say. Yeah, I'm giving up on it. I also think in pick and roll in particular, I do agree with everything Eli said, which is why I feel the second half of the season when they weren't using Jaylen Green, they did use him in pick and roll, but more so they were using him in zoom action, DHOs, where he's just coming off that second handoff to his right hand. He's not having to probe and try and get to where he wants on the court. It's quick decisions. That's where I think he can complement Sengun. That's where I think it's better. Just speed up the game. Just make the game faster for Jaylen Green. I think it's quicker when he plays more of instinct than having to try reads and dissect defense.
But I just
don't think he feels the game that way.
Like he had, like,
but how can you feel that you got
Sengun? It's not concerning you that he had one of the more simplified roles in the league and he still wasn't super effective. Is that not a little bit concerning?
It's concerning that he can't make spot up threes. Yes, but
I'm saying in general, like his entire.
But I think that's why he wasn't effective, is because he can't make spot up threes. That's a big portion of his offense early on in the season. Just it was bad because he couldn't make spot up threes. Yeah. That was a big portion of why he was flawed. So yes, it's concerning. But that's why I said a lot of Jaylen Green's development is predicated on if he can shoot the ball. If he can't shoot the ball, I'm with you. If he can shoot the ball, I think the sky is the limit. Everything is predicated on his ability to shoot the basketball. That's why in March, when he shot the basketball at an elite level, he looked like one of the best scorers in the league. That's what I think the upside is. Everything is predicated on his ability to shoot the basketball. So what can he do with that? I don't know. But I've rode this train too far for me to get off it now. Like I just have.
Mars will be calling someone insane right now if they talk.
It's just the
good shooting.
Even my thing is that even if he is one of the better scorers in the league, I'm just the way that he would have to get it. I'm unsure of how like functionally valuable it is because I don't think that the way that he's going to get his 28 on +7 or whatever or +6, which is like really good scoring. I don't really think that it's like it really opens up that much for everyone else, right? Whereas like if it is a decent bit of it is off of back cuts and he's hitting his spot ups and he's like scoring off of zoom action, like that is good in essence, right? That 28 on 21 scoring possessions is effective and efficient, but it's like I don't think he's like his passing is fine, but I don't think that it's exploitive in the way that it's really going to shift defenses, especially like east to west as a skip passer. And I don't think that the way that he scores will really attract like, oh yeah, we have to load the defense up a lot to stop him. Because I think he will get downhill, but not a lot from a standstill. I don't really see him, attacking a mismatch, getting a mismatch, and consistently getting to his spot and forcing a reaction as much as, like you said, it will have to come off of like delay, zoom action, Chicago, Miami, where he's getting a pre-existing advantage and from there capitalizing in space, which he could potentially score a lot, but even that upside is like how much does that really help an offense?
Yeah, how impactful I don't know the answer to those questions. But what I do know is the upside as a shot creator is so high that I'm not giving up on it going into year 4. Now, like I said, if he has a bad year 4, in terms of he still can't shoot the basketball consistently, he still has some of the glaring holes in terms of over dribbling and poor playmaking feel, and he's still a negative on defense. Yeah, I'm fine saying the experiment was cool. Jaylen will be traded by the trade deadline if he isn't having a good 4th year. Like, I hope everyone, Houston fan or not, I hope everyone knows Jaylen will be traded if he's not having a good year 4. If Jaylen ends the year in Houston, that means he had a good year. So I hope everyone's aware of it.
But I got a question, though.
So if Jaylen ends the year in Houston, I will still be on the train because that means he had a good year. So I'm just letting everyone know. So I'm not coming off that train until he's out.
Hey, but I got a question though.
Yes.
So with the Houston Rockets, and I know they got Cam Whitmore. How can Ime Udoka incorporate Cam Whitmore into the offense without interrupting everything that they got going on?
Bring him off the bench.
I don't know what to do with Cam. I really don't. Because his feel for the game is so bad. And he can't dribble.
He has turnovers, like bad turnovers.
Like, he's so raw, but he can shoot the 3 and he's so strong. But I just
he's like PJ Warren.
Who do you prefer long? Who do you prefer long term?
He was like the low-key the committee.
If you had to keep 4 Mars out of the people you draft today this year, and with the young core you have now, you had to save 4. Who would the 4 be?
Amen Thompson. He's the first person I'm saving. He has the highest ceiling on it. Sengun, Jabari.
Saying Jabari before Reed is crazy, bro. Check the BPM.
I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. I actually forgot Reed is on our team. I actually forgot Reed is on our team.
I don't think it's crazy.
You can start over if you want, Mars.
I don't think
I will say, I will keep Amen he is untouchable. Amen, Sengun, Jabari, and Reed probably.
Okay, so Jaylen Green is not even top 4.
I've said in my opinion, he has the second highest ceiling on the team, but he also has the lowest floor.
Yeah.
I've been open about this, by the way. I've been open.
Why do you think Amir Thompson have a higher ceiling than Sengun? I think it's the first time I hear you say
Amir Thompson.
Amen Thompson, because defensively, I think he should be battling for all NBA defense this year. I've already said I think if he's not the most athletic player in the NBA, he's in the top 5. His feel for the game is exceptional. The versatility he provides for you on offense, even without being able to dribble or shoot, 2 of the biggest pillars of offense, is great. The fact that we've been able to use him as a screener, as a rookie, is very interesting. His ability to play the baseline, his feel for cutting, his understanding of angles, his ability to get guys involved, his rebounding. And then if I'm projecting his ability to handle the ball gets better, which is what I'm in terms of ceiling, he's going to be one of the best. He's not a point guard. He's a wing. He's going to be one of the best wings in the NBA. And I think if you're building a great team, you want an elite wing. Just in terms of everything he provides, I think Sengun has more question marks in terms of his fit, just because he's an undersized big. He's not the best defensively. He's not great in drop, but he can't move his feet well enough to play at the level. He's not a very good rebounder. So the things you have to put around Sengun in terms of building a championship unit, I think are harder to find than the things you have to put around Amen Thompson, personally. Jabari, I just think fits with anyone. And Reed has the potential to be maybe one of the best shooters in the league while being a high-energy defender, being a high-field guy. It just makes sense, in my opinion. Jaylen and Cam are very hit or miss because they're both primary scorers. Cam has the potential to be a better defender, but once again, his feel is just appalling. Jaylen, I think, is the best. Jaylen, I think, is gonna be the better offensive player than Cam if everything works out. But I just think what they have is just so.
I mean,
that I'd be.
But Cam has a higher.
Antari is just old and he's a role player. Even though I love his defense and his energy and everything else, but
I mean, Cam has a higher floor as a defender potentially, though. I mean. His off-ball defense is whatever.
Something.
Like it was bad in summer league, but I don't really take that too seriously.
It was bad in the NBA.
I'm not gonna pretend like I watched too many of the G League games. But It was
bad at Villanova. It's been bad since.
No, it was whatever at Villanova. I don't really think it was too poor. The scheme was overall pretty. The scheme, I think everyone at Villanova, it was just a really dysfunctional circumstance. But I do think that the on-ball defense in general should be a plus. He's just super explosive. He's super strong. I just think he's a better athlete than Jaylen, honestly, just mostly because of that strength. I think he's just as vertically explosive. He's probably stronger, and I mean, he's young. Like he's about as young as you can get.
He's just turned 19. No, he just turned 20. I mean, he just turned.
You don't got a better quick first step than Jaylen, though.
He's not as quick as Jaylen, no.
Yeah, but he's 240
he's
pounds.
so much stronger.
He's 240. He's 230 pounds and 6'6", bro. Like he's not supposed to have a better first step than somebody that's 180 soaking wet.
But his handle is also just.
There's people with a better quick first
like
step
with Cam.
You said what? Wait. What did you say?
I said not supposed to, but there are players that are bigger.
There are 6'6", 230-pound players with a better first step than Jaylen Green. Who other than maybe Anthony Edwards?
The midway.
Okay, Anthony Edwards is smaller than Jaylen in terms of height, but he is 230.
That's what I'm saying. He meets that weight criteria. But who in turn has that build that has a better first step than Jaylen Green? I would love to know.
There's not many people in the league with a better first step than Jaylen Green.
Niggas gonna say Dwayne Wade to try to make a point against me, bro. That's how far y'all.
I mean, think about it, Dwayne Wade. Yeah,
he was 6'. I mean,
D-Wade was 6'3.5", 6'4".
D-Wade was like inch height.
He's old.
Yeah, D-Wade like 6'4", but
Cam's a little bit taller than him, and he weighs. He's big. Like he weighs.
He definitely weighs more.
If Jaylen is 6'4", Anthony Edwards is 6'3.5". So Jaylen is not 6'4". I promise you.
Jaylen like 6. Wait, I thought he was 6'6" coming in. I thought he was 6'6" and like it was like 6'6".
I'm pretty sure Jaylen is 6'6" in shoes. I'm pretty.
You can't trust any of these NBA heights, man.
Yeah, they all liars. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm like certain Jaylen is 6'6" in shoes, but I might be wrong.
I guess you are right because like when I saw Tatum like next to 80, then I didn't know he's that tall. I thought he was 6'8". I didn't think he was like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
With hair or without hair? We're talking about Jaylen Green with hair.
No, Jaylen Green shoulder to shoulder is taller than Adam.
Either way, I think that I would probably I don't know, bro. I think that the core makes a lot more sense without a certain somebody, but that's my general opinion.
You're gonna be wrong this year. It's cool. Jaylen gonna have.
Honestly, I do. I think I love Tari. I think you're underrating him a little bit. I mean, the shot is.
Me, Tari. Do you know how much I speak about Tari?
Yeah, but you just say he's just a role player. Like I think he could be better.
I said I could only pick. I could only keep 4. Like
no, the question was only if you only.
I've already said I've already said if I had to move one, the only one I would move is Cam right now. Jaylen will be moved if he has a bad year, but you know how I feel about Jaylen. Tari, for me, you have to keep guys like Tari around.
You
have to keep guys. Tari is another one. Defensive caliber.
I think there's a chance that he is the last man out though, or out man out, or what's the term? Y'all know what I'm talking about, bro.
He's just
odd man.
I think I just think because he's not offensively inclined. Like he still can only finish with his right. He's still not a great shooter. The handle is not very good. He's not much like everything about. I think the handle is functional for his height, and he's a good enough shooter that he can get closeouts. And if he can get closeouts and he can like develop more skill to kill them, then that's just a really, really, really good player. When you consider he might be the best. One day he might be the league's best event creator at the wing spot. Like that's literally the type of potential he has. Where he's already one of the best defensive playmakers. He's already one of the best defensive playmakers. He's another one. All defensive. Him and the men. All defensive caliber next year, in my opinion. He would have been all defensive caliber this year if he was healthy. But offensively is also his rebounding is excellent. But he's just all over the like offensively. It's too much.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Cam.
Oh my! We got a $50 super chat.
Cam. Okay. Go ahead and ask that.
It's a terrible super chat. But shout out to 19 Butterman 98 for sending the super chat saying Kevin Durant is Michael Kidd Gilchrist with a working jump shot.
Oh,
shout out to you. Shout out to you for sending that horrific super chat. But for $50, you can say what you want, man. For $50,
that's a no one. That's a no one.
I was
That's
gonna
chill on the
say.
Shout out
burner,
to you,
bro.
man. Shout out to you. I
I
appreciate
was
you.
gonna
He
say.
said $50
But yeah,
to say
I
that.
think that
That's crazy.
these guys are. I think that these guys are relatively similar in the idea that, like, some people
What,
question.
Michael Kidd Grissom and KD?
nah, he going back to someone
I'm
on
asking a
Instagram.
Okay,
question, but I think
my bad.
these guys are relatively similar in the idea that obviously they're super young. They have field concerns. For one of these players, I think that that's a little weird, but some people did question their field and their handle and stuff, but they're like crazy athletes. Do you prefer Holland or Cam Whitmore more? They're like, I think they mirror each other a lot in their respective classes.
I think the field concerns for Ron Holland are stupid. But
That's what I was saying. That's why I said
yeah,
I think that they're
that's
sleep.
stupid.
But
But you think Ron Holland has
my
more
my
potential?
comparison for Cam Whitmore, I'm pretty sure has always been Jaylen Brown. That's what I've seen at the high end. But I prefer
That's the
Ron
ceiling?
Holland. Yeah, I think if everything hits for Cam, I think Jaylen Brown is the blueprint.
Okay.
I prefer Ron Holland. I think defensively he's already better, but I
Mhm.
still do think the tools in terms of the length, the explosiveness, the agility, the motor is much higher than Cam's too. Will make him a better defender. I also think his handle is much more functional. He showed way more playmaking ability in the G League than Cam has ever shown in his life in terms of willingness, vision, and feel. But I just think Cam is the better scoring prospect.
I
But
think Ron has better
overall, Ron Holland's
upside
the
than
better player.
Cam. That's me. I
Yeah.
think Ron has better upside.
But Ron also plays too fast. Like he needs to slow
Yeah,
down. He plays
I
way
think
too
Ron
fast.
is.
Hey Mars, how long do you give a player for his development in regards to like in terms of showing patience for his feel for the game? Because the fact that like I do agree with you with the Cam and Jaylen Brown comparison in terms of ceiling, but like just like Cam, Jaylen Brown came to the league. He didn't have a great feel for the game at all. Like the only
I
thing we
still don't
see
think he
now,
does. I still don't think he
yeah, I'm
does.
saying the only thing we see now that like translated from rookie year from Jaylen Brown, they didn't improve like he already improved on was transition. So
But
that's what I'm saying. Like,
way better as
he
a
was a
shooter.
special. He was a special transition player at Cal. But Jaylen Brown is improved in the skill areas of the game, and he's obviously gotten smarter. He recognizes things.
yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think you go from poor field to great field. I think you can just understand pattern recognition and understand, well, when this happens, this is the read to make. But I don't think you can actually.
That's less fit like because Phil is like Phil is proactive, right? Phil is like
yes, Jaylen Brown is reactive.
So
I'm attacking this angle and then I'm expecting you to do something. I'm responding, right? Phil is like
okay. So
what Shea has in isolation, where it's like it feels like he's playing at his own pace and he's dictating what the defender is doing. I think that some players are really reactive, and that's the
So
opposite of
in
Phil
in
almost.
terms of basketball terminology, is processing reactive or proactive?
Processing?
It can be either.
Yeah, like I know, like when we talk about like when we talk about like no, no, like I know we mostly use it in reactive. Like when we talk about Joy Embiid's playmaking, like we say like his process in regards to double teams. That we use that in terms of reactive. That's why I'm just asking. Is
Wait,
it
so
is
Yeah, but
process reactive
Joel
or proactive?
Embiid is a reactive processor. But guys like Jokic, guys like Luka, obviously you can be both. You can react to the defense, but you can also force the defense to do things and understand that when I do this, this is what's going to happen, and then you're already a step ahead. The best players are obviously both. You can react and you can cause the defense to do things. But just being able to get to the level of being reactive, but being a good reactive player is, I think, all you need to do to be a good offensive player. Jaylen Brown, I think, has got to that point where he's clearly reactive. He's clearly reactive. And Boston have done about as good of a job as you can to give Jaylen Brown about as much space as possible so that the decision making is as easy as it can be. I feel like if you clog the spacing for Jaylen Brown, you will see he's still flawed in terms of his processing of the game. But I feel like that's where Cam can get to. Cam can get to a point where he can react to what defenses are showing him and make the adequate reads. He's not going to make the advanced ones, and he's not going to force defenses to do things and think a step ahead. But if he can just be reactive to a level enough where he doesn't just get flustered by a double team instantly, then he's in a good spot, which is why I think Jaylen Brown is the blueprint.
Okay, so Mar, so like you think that's another reason why like his flaws like coming in like was more amplified, meaning like when you said many times he has a great feel for the game, but he's proactive. So since he kind of I don't know what I'm trying to say. So like, since Jaylen Brown's more reactive, his flaws are when he was younger are a lot more shown or a lot more telling. Whereas a guy who has flaws, that's a guy that's more proactive that has those similar flaws. They can like you said, like you see him cut more, you see him get certain spots more, you can see him pass better, like something like that.
Yeah, I think the flaws of a flawed player with bad feel is more noticeable than a flawed player with great feel, because of feel alone you can make impactful plays, and then whether or not how you play off of like in terms of cutting into open space or making an elite read, but maybe your passing accuracy isn't good enough to consistently get the pass through, but you've seen something that a person with low feel wouldn't see. So Amen Thompson, extremely flawed player at OT, extremely flawed. But the reason I was so high on him, I remember I said before the draft, second highest ceiling in the draft, in my opinion, Amen Thompson. I was saying that, but the flaw was also, if he doesn't figure out some of these skill stuff, it'll look shaky. So I just think, and I wasn't high on Jaylen Brown. Obviously, Jaylen Brown has turned into a great player. I was wrong. But I just feel like the flawed player with elite feel is always the safer bet. If they're like, obviously, if they're both elite athletes and they have prerequisite skills. I'm not just saying, oh, this smart guy who can't do anything. But if they both have elite athleticism or elite tools, the person with the feel is always going to be the one I would lean towards in this situation.
It's very hard to decide something like that. Some players make some stupid decisions when they are younger, but they actually look. Like, if you look at young Kobe, for example, he played like he doesn't know how to play basketball. And then he became like, he's now considered one of the smartest players of all time. So,
some of it's about, that's why it's hard to, on film, it's hard to dissect what's the difference between bad feel and overconfidence, or like just a bad process.
We're just trying to force
Kobe, like Kobe could see, I'm sure Kobe could see things and would actively opt against the things he would see in favor of calling his own number. So is that bad feel or is that just bad decision making? And it's hard to decipher which is which with players. Like, I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect. I'm definitely not an NBA scout. They definitely have a better system than I do. Mine is strictly based off eye test and maybe like some assist to turnover numbers, maybe. But really, it's like it's hard.
It takes a few years. Like right now, I'm completely decided on Jordan Poole, for example. But Cam Whitmore is still too young for me to like.
I don't know if I've seen a player with as bad feel as Cam Whitmore become someone with good feel. I don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe there is.
I'm sure you've watched him more than me, but I'm just saying.
Is there any like crazy dynamic attributes Whitmore has? I can think of other players like Blake Griffin, right? Like Blake Griffin never really had a feel for the game until you could argue the Pistons, but maybe even the year before that MVP year. But nevertheless, like his athleticism is so dynamic, he overcompensates for that. I'm asking, is there anything about Cam Whitmore's game that's already like that level of dynamic?
I don't think so. I do think he's an elite athlete, but because so much of his ability, he won't be maximized unless he becomes more skilled. He can't maximize his strength unless his handle is more functional. He can't maximize his scoring unless he has a higher feel for the game. Blake Griffin was someone who, because he was a big and because of his catch radius was so crazy, he didn't need a feel next to Chris Paul because I'm gonna throw it up, I'm gonna go get it. Cam Whitmore doesn't have that luxury because even though he is big, especially positionally, he's not big for the NBA. He's 6'6".
You can always trade for Chris Paul, though.
Do you think
but even then he's not the screener Blake Griffin was. He doesn't have great feel as a cutter either. And he can't create his own shot. His numbers when he's actually creating his own shot versus his shots being created for him, there's a drastic difference. Which is why I don't think he's as good of a scorer as Jaylen Green. Cam Whitmore is entirely dependent on people generating shots.
Do you think that any of these guys with this feel issue is because they're not watching enough film, or is it something with film study? Because most of the players that I hear people say have feel for the game, I also hear, and I'm not in these locker rooms, I don't know these players personally, but I also hear that the players who we say have feel, they watch like a lot of film. So
I can only speak for myself. What I mean by that is there's a drastic difference between watching things unfold from a third person perspective than it
Versus
unfolds
something happening in
a
front of you.
than you having that same instance occur and you're watching the game through your own eyes.
Helps,
on the
it helps.
Like
Studying.
it's drastically different. Like
when you're in the situation,
and I say this all the
itself.
time. I can watch an NBA game, and I feel I'm pretty comfortable in being able to recognize reads as I watch the game on TV. I'm pretty sure I can see like this guy's tagging in the pick and roll. That's the skip pass. I can see those things. Put me on the court to see the exact same thing unfold. It looks different.
It looks different.
It's just completely different because
because
you got
the angle in which you're watching it is different. You got a third person versus first person perspective. So do I think watching film helps? Yes, but I do think you have to be able to recognize it through the first person lens. Otherwise, it's useless. And I'm not saying put me on a basketball court, and the only reason I can't do it is because my feel is bad. I'm also just supremely unskilled. I'm just not good at basketball. But it would apply to any sport. You can watch the game from above, watch film, watch games back. The moment you're out there on the field, on the pitch, on the court, whatever you want to call it, it's a different game. It's completely different. It's a different perspective. It's not
because your body, your mind is already doing other things. Like you're literally in the middle of the game. Like you're literally doing other shit. So
also
it's like
film, you can pause and rewind.
Yeah.
Like, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. It can
That's
help,
why-
but it's not gonna save you.
that's why number one thing when you watch film. That's why no matter what sport, number one thing when you watch film, you really watch it from your position and responsibility than out. Than opposed as like a spectator or as a fan or whatever, you're watching outside than in. So that's why most times you hear guys say when a coach or another player taught them how to watch film, they also allude to, okay, where are the spots I need to operate at? What are my counters if this happens on the court on the field? So it's just from that standpoint.
So you guys think there's like some players out there who like watch some player without film or players, right? Who watch a lot of film but just can't do it. Like no matter how
I think it's more.
I do think there's players out there. Could I tell you one? No, but I do think they exist.
Here's the thing, though. It's like any natural talent. Like you'll only know if you have it or not when you work on it enough to know. Like, I think no matter how good your feel is, if you don't watch any basketball film, you'll never know how much you can reach, like how high
How
your
good
ceiling
it can
is.
be, yes. You won't
Yeah.
maximize unless you try to maximize.
Yeah, and shout out to Chase Buddington.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. Volleyball expert, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my thoughts on things. I would like to clip that. Maybe if it does go on TikTok, I can be told how I never hooped by the people in the comments and they'll hate on me. I don't know. But let me read some more super chats. Shout out to everyone watching Open Gym, by the way. Shout out to you guys. Teddy Hart said Embiid needs to go to the Zebo Academy of Post Scoring.
Super facts.
I do think Embiid, he's the second best post player in the league. But I do think he leaves a lot on the table in terms of how little he posts up. And I do think a lot of it is still, I don't think it's because he doesn't have the scoring arsenal. I do think it's because of his ability to see the floor with his back to the basket. I genuinely think that's why he doesn't post up more. Now I might be wrong, but that's just how I feel about it. So that's where I'm standing. Welcome to the show, baby.
Do you think?
Hey y'all, how you doing?
I'll wait till after this super chat.
Oh, okay, thank you. The next super chat is from El Goat. He said, football doesn't like basketball. He just likes LeBron. And in the same vein, Taquay White said, how much do I have to donate to kick football? Well, football's no longer here. But shout out to football. But yeah,
he was talking about LeBron, I presume.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Do you think
as he does?
Do you think Embiid and I'm gonna just compare him to AD for this conversation because AD when he first got to the Lakers, that's when I started watching him the most. I watched him at in New Orleans, obviously, but he had problems passing out of double teams and he played a lot slower. But over these he's gotten substantially better at that. And I don't know what it is. Like, what is the difference between him and Embiid? Like, why did he progress? And AD plays a lot faster now that he knows how to pass out of double teams substantially better. Like, what's the difference? Is one watching more film? Is the coach?
In my theory,
well, the word
he just cared to get better. He just cared to get better.
What I've heard is that Embiid watches more film than damn near anyone in the league. From people who have worked with Embiid, not Embiid himself, but people who have been around Embiid, they say Embiid watches more film than damn near anyone they've worked with. So Embiid watches film. Another thing I don't get is at Kansas, I thought Embiid was a good passer. So I don't know what happened to Joel Embiid. I don't know. He said himself he is a score first player. The moment he gets the ball, he's thinking, how can I score? Before he thinks about how's the defense treating me, what's the read? He's thinking score, and then everything else is layered on top of that. I think maybe AD is at a point where he's not thinking score or pass first. He's just thinking whatever the right play is. If I catch the ball and it's a double, let me just make the read. If I catch the ball in a single coverage, I'm gonna go. So maybe it's a mindset thing where AD isn't thinking. Maybe AD isn't thinking score first or pass first. He's just thinking whichever one is the right play in this moment. Whereas Embiid is every time is score first. So if they're presenting playmaking opportunity, he's still thinking score, and that's why it takes him longer to make those decisions.
Do you think that comes from playing with LeBron though? And I'm not saying like LeBron just makes niggas better, but LeBron being, but the same as other guys that have played with Chris Paul. Like when you play with a high IQ guy or a guy playing with Rondo, when you play with a high IQ guy, especially for an extended period of time, as a star player, Well, how long did they play together though?
The year and 18 was a year, right? A year.
So,
yeah.
And then 2020.
Yeah, so they played multiple times together. But playing with high IQ guys for an extended period of time, maybe it kind of rubs off on them, like of ways to look at the game outside of just scoring. Because if Embiid plays with more playmakers outside of the realm of like Harden, if he played with more guys with high IQ, that were high IQ passers, do you think he would have had that change of a mindset too?
I think Embiid gets it. So. I genuinely think he gets it. I just think he's so score first. Like, and you're asking, do I think if he played with a playmaker to that level, or a guy who thinks the game that level, that he would change his mindset? I don't think so. I just think Embiid is wired to score the basketball. So every decision he makes on a basketball court is predicated on the fact that either he could score it or he couldn't. So he passes when he can't score it, and he shoots it when he thinks he can score it. Whereas I think AD he passes because it's the right play to make. Embiid passes it because the scoring opportunity is gone. And I just think that's just how he's wired. And I think in order to be a scorer to that level, that's how you have to be wired. I think Kobe understood the right play, but Kobe called his own number a lot because I can score the basketball. I think if you want to score as much as those guys score, you have to be built that way. So I'm not mad at it, but I just do think there is a limit on how he can process the game. And I think that's just
on top of the mentality, like AD role as a finisher hasn't changed. Like even with the different head coaches, his role in terms of finishing plays hasn't changed. Well, Embiid has. We literally saw different areas of the court where Doc, Brett, and even Nick Nurse wanted him to operate from scoring. So I think the repetitions in different areas of the floor is different from the pose. Is more fluid for Embiid than opposed to AD as well.
And I want to touch on the Embiid post-up thing. He also talked about in that podcast. He said he said when they got Batum this year, like he helped him post up because he said he didn't really play with a lot of people who knew how to throw a post entry pass.
That is a fact.
Yeah,
that's just an undoubtable.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nicholas Batum, one of the.
And he said Batum.
Yeah, I try to keep that line up. That's real. Like I try to keep that line up. Like a lot of players really don't know how to like throw entry pass in the post.
Hey, Damo,
he said Batum helped him a lot with that.
Hey, Damo, when you were talking about them playing with like high level playmakers that makes them like better passers, maybe it's that and those guys like being better than them that helps them. Like when you're like second fiddle to a guy, maybe it's easier to listen to him or something. When he Embiid's pretty much been the best player
on his
every
team.
year. So
yeah,
when you're second, maybe it's you get what I'm saying.
But I don't think AD's ever been that aggressive, though. Even in New Orleans, he was more aggressive than in LA, but I don't think he's ever been that aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I disagree on that one. Well, in comparison to Embiid,
that's what I'm saying.
Embiid, I agree.
You can't be as aggressive. You can't be as aggressive as Embiid as a scorer.
Yeah.
At the big man position, because a guard can control the whole offense.
He is
at the big man position without being wired that differently. Like you have to have that mentality. Like you can't think pass first or even pass 1B if you're trying to and be as good of a scorer as Embiid. It's just not. It's not possible as a big man, in my opinion. You have to be thinking score first. So I just think that's what Embiid is. That's just how he is. But I do think he understands the game. I mean, he spoke about how he wants to use Kelly Oubre like Aaron Gordon, or like how how they can maximize Kelly Oubre along the baseline and stuff like that. Which is funny because I've watched so many times Kelly Oubre be on the baseline and then Joel Embiid ignore him.
Just doesn't do it.
Jumpers. So like, once again, I think he understands the game and I think he watches film. He's just so wired to score that he's just not gonna make those reads that other guys will. Not because some of it because he doesn't see it, but some of it because he doesn't look for it.
Yeah, and
Chill,
also
Chill brought this up.
Embiid has
my fault.
he's gotten better in this like Olympic 7. It's been 6 games, 7. He's gotten better at playing quicker, a little bit. Like, so you can see that he's like changing a little bit to fit what's around him. He's not the same player he was like the first 2 games. He's starting to play a little faster. He's still missing and shit, obviously, but.
And Chill brought up a great point when Embiid made that comment. If he wasn't injured, he'll be in the GOAT conversation. Not just from an availability standpoint, but like with that amount of games, with that more games that he would play, the more repetition. I know, like me and Mars brought this up, like how his playmaking is still be a big weakness. So him being less injury don't really change that. Well, Chill I think made an excellent point. Him playing more games, him getting more reps, and him getting put in those situations more could possibly be a positive on his playmaking.
Yes, more reps is always helpful.
Embiid may not be the GOAT, but he would definitely be. He'd be a top 10 scorer of all time.
I said on this platform before that he is the most talented big man of all time, in my opinion.
It's also a mental thing with
that's a great statement. Because I was going to ask that question because somebody made this comment after KD did his thing in the last game, right? Is KD the most talented basketball player ever? And then if you say so, yes, what are you gauging in terms of like talent?
Natural gifts is talent, man.
Yeah, so is talent just natural gifts because man can shoot, man can dribble.
You're muted.
There's not a lot that
but you say, but see, we say like that.
No, my fault.
Is physical gifts included?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
talent is natural proficiency for anything. That's what talent is. It's hard for us to ever decide what's natural and what's worked on, because who are we to know if KD naturally just came out shooting 40% from 3? Like, we don't know that. But I think you can for me, the most talented basketball player ever is LeBron James.
Yeah.
If
physical gifts and then the feel for the game. He has 2 things you can't.
People nowadays use skill and talent.
He has maybe the best feel for the game we've ever seen, and maybe the best physical profile we've ever seen. Will Chamberlain would probably take the cake for the physical profile.
Yeah,
and maybe this guy. Yeah, I'm not saying he's the best, but he's in the conversation for both.
Is durability a talent?
Dropping still.
Durability is PEDs. Durability is PEDs.
Here goes the hate.
Durability. Hey, I gave him too much love. I said he's the most talented player ever. Everything else, PEDs, man.
Gotta balance it out.
But yeah, talent is genuinely you can't teach.
For him specifically, he works on his durability a lot, and that's why he's still at 40 years old, like playing like that.
Yeah, but that's
he spends like $1 million on his body. Like,
but that wouldn't be a talent.
But so many other people do that as well, and they're not able to reap the same benefits as LeBron. Like Dwayne Wade spoke on that in the interview. He said, "If you think LeBron," he said, "I've tried the shit LeBron does. If you think he's the only person, very true, but still, there's other people who are putting a lot of money in their bodies and they're not reaping the same benefits as LeBron.
So now there are gifts,
bro. A lot of that.
I think so.
He has better durability than 99.9% of people, but he's also similar to what Amir said earlier about you don't know the ceiling until you try and maximize it. LeBron had a higher ceiling durability wise than damn near anyone ever. Shout out to number 32 in that regard too, because his durability was crazy. But he's also managed to sustain it. He's also managed to sustain it longer than anyone because of the work he's put in. If he didn't put in any work, he probably wouldn't have been an injury-prone player in his career. He probably would have had some excellent longevity, but he's managed to push the limits as far as he has because of the extra stuff he's put into it. So it's a natural ability on top of everything.
He probably would have been done in 2019 after the groin injury. If he would have just did it naturally, that 2019 injury might have been like.
Yeah, he might have fell off after that.
That might have been like the Kobe Achilles.
The Kobe.
That might have been it might have been the start of the downward stick, but
and one thing I think people don't get enough credit to, and this is not a knock to LeBron, is he's lucky too. It's luck. too. Like
there is luck. Yeah, for sure. There is
like
luck.
you could twist the
Sure,
ankle.
it's like-
You could. There's a lot of times people have gotten lucky with injuries and unlucky. So
I was gonna. Yeah,
Never
I was
having
gonna
a season-ending injury is lucky. After 21 years, that's crazy in any sport.
But yeah, for me, Bron,
You think
You can
defense is
also say
talent,
he's
part of
lucky
talent?
for like developing early.
defensive
He was at
tools is
16,
part of talent.
6'8",
Defensive tools.
So,
to
so a
yeah.
crazy two-way
200
player would
some
be the most
pounds.
talented, no?
oh,
Huh?
if it's
Who?
defensive talent,
If,
I've said
if
this before. It's
defensive
Anthony
tools are part
Davis.
of it, then a crazy two-way player would be in the more talented conversation, right?
Yeah,
Like
LeBron
a
James.
Pippen. Okay.
It depends on their
I
tools.
was
Yeah,
going
it
more
depends on their
Pippen, Kawhi
tools.
Leonard, that route.
Yeah.
Kawhi is not the most. I think
For
Kawhi.
defensive talent for me, it's Anthony Davis, and maybe that's because that's one of my favorite
Yes,
players.
maybe
But
Chet
Davis
Holmgren,
also.
I mean,
Chet
Kawhi
is
is
crazy.
really
Chet
gifted.
Holmgren,
He has long
Wemby,
arms.
they're defensive talents. Dwight Howard was a
KG,
defensive talent. KG.
Dwight Howard. Yeah.
Tim Duncan.
Dwight Howard
Like
is
yeah,
definitely
there
a
is
defensive
there
talent.
is defensive
Roy
talent.
Hibbert.
Or Hibbert.
Shout out to Roy Hibbert.
I don't know. Guys,
defensive-
can we
He's
cut
on
it?
talent,
Can
man.
we cut it? Roy Hibbert was a great defender. I
Yo,
don't care
shout out
what
to Roy
anyone
Hibbert,
says.
man.
He was an elite defender, whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit or not, whether you like him or not. He was an
He had
elite.
an elite defensive year or a couple years.
Yeah,
I'm not
when
gonna-
he
Couple
was
years.
good,
Man,
he was
I'm
an
not gonna
elite
lie.
defender.
Shout out to Roy Hibbert, but he should thank
Shout out to
Frank
Roy Hibbert.
Vogel every day, man. Frank Vogel maximized Roy Hibbert better than anyone could have maximized anyone anytime. Shout out to Frank Vogel.
Yeah.
Man, that's Mr.
PG
Verticality, man.
He was
Stop.
averaging
PG
20
talked about that.
points.
He talked about that.
He was averaging 20 points against the Heat while
Smart,
playing
for sure.
POI level. Like, that's
But
not.
all right, speaking of these talented
I will
players,
say that,
right?
Damo. That's the one question I wish y'all asked. I wish y'all asked like what happened in that regards. Like what changed for him? Because he went from being like one of the most honestly like one of the most dominant two-way centers in the league to putting up 2 points and 0 points in a playoff game. Like it was
Well, the
crazy
game
how
pa-
like
I mean, it was pretty obvious. The game passed him, and didn't he have injuries? Wasn't it
Yeah.
like
No, like
step back to his health?
He
No,
was
like the
also-
injury.
He was also always offensively inept. Like,
Yeah.
no disrespect, but he always
Yeah.
was. But shout out
Yeah.
to 2014 Roy Hibbert, man, holding opponents to 16% below their expected field goal percentage at the ring.
He always
Yeah, PG
had a
PG
high.
talked about that. Yeah.
He always had a high like percentage of rim protection. Like even in his bad years, even with the Lakers, he had a plus defensive statistics at like defending at the rim. He was
Yeah,
always
that Pacers team gave the Heat trouble.
Because that's those Pacers teams are some of the best defenses of the modern era. For some reason, they just get
Mhm.
slept on. Man.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, they had Lance Stevenson. The rest were great
Nice.
defenders.
Nice little defender. I'm about to say.
I've always been saying I keep trying to say Paul George on defense in that like those years. That's one of the best wing defensive pieces we've ever seen. I'm
He
just
was
standing
great.
on that. That was
George Hill. Shout out to George Hill as well. He was.
He just
playing
wasn't
good.
in his offensive prime yet, though. No.
Yeah, he wasn't. But
He was ascending still.
defensively, I don't think there's many wings who are better than that version of Paul George. Like that's how good I think he was defensively. But
Do you think he's better than Wade?
yes,
Defensively, yeah.
yes,
Mm.
yes.
Yeah, sure.
That was just
version
the
of George
highest
is best.
player I could think of that. I
What's
think would be
the
a
player you
conversation.
think of that he was better than, which would be considered a hot take?
As a
Scottie-
defender,
Scottie
As a
Pippen.
defender,
I think
chill out.
off the top of the modern era, 1980 onwards, I think Paul George has a top 5 wing defensive peak.
who are the other
the
four?
five?
Oh, name the other-
Wait, hold on. No order. Wait, is that no order or
No order,
is it
no order.
5?
No order.
I know
Kawhi is
Kawhi, Scottie, and Bron are in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that puts him 4 right now.
And then 4, 5, it could be any of Ron Artest,
Mhm.
Karolenko,
Mhm.
Draymond's a
Paul
big
George,
to you, right?
obviously.
Draymond's a
big.
forward.
Draymond's a big.
Okay.
Draymond's a big.
Wait, so
Um,
Ron is higher than Ron Artest. That's interesting.
Defensively, yeah.
I'm
don't think so. But
certain.
to each their
I'm
own.
certain I'd take Bron. But yeah, I'm putting him in the top 5. It would probably be Kawhi, no order. Kawhi, Scottie, Bron, Artest, Paul George. That'd probably be my 5.
Okay.
But yeah, I know that's certainly a hot take because that means I'm taking him over Michael Jordan, I'm taking him over Kobe.
Bruce Bowen, Tony Allen.
I'm taking him over Bruce Bowen, everybody's gone. But those guys, yeah.
What's the time window you
I'm
said?
taking 2013, 2014 Paul George over those guys.
No, for the whole.
Damn, Shane Battier.
Defensively.
Yes,
I'm taking him over Shane Battier. I'm taking him over
Russell
Shane
Westbrook versus
Sean,
KD.
damn, sorry, Sean Marion. You missed the cut.
I'm taking him over Sean Marion. Like, that's how high I think of his peak. And people can disagree with
Russell
me. I'm fine with
Westbrook
that.
versus KD teams.
Who are the players?
Hey, Russell Westbrook when he's allowed to foul KD 17 times a possession, yeah, he up there.
I know y'all seen Roy said he feared Russ. Come on, lock in.
Russ, man, Russ a lockdown defender for real. But yeah, that's how highly I view Paul George on defense. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
I wanted to ask: Is there any player you see right now that you think can be a part of that list?
McDaniels,
Currently playing in the league.
They have potential.
Amen Thompson, Asar Thompson.
Amir Thompson. Yeah, Thompson twins. They got potential.
Tristan Thompson.
Cooper Flag when he comes in. I don't know if he's gonna be a wing or I don't know what Cooper Flag's gonna be.
Wait, you're putting a high school player in that list? Like,
Ben Simmons has potential to be in that conversation.
Ben Simmons was a dog defensively.
Ben Simmons is another one. He's one of the best defensive peaks.
Like
I'll say this: Ben Simmons and Lonzo Ball have two of the best guard defensive peaks ever
we've ever seen.
Yeah, talk about Lonzo.
Whoa.
In my opinion, guard.
Ben can real life.
Let her finish. Hold on, y'all. Let her finish.
Guards, you got Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Caruso,
Lonzo Ball.
Drew Holiday.
Don't say
Drew.
Drew.
Oh my god.
Damn,
Drew,
man.
Drew.
Y'all messing up
Drew.
the
My fault, Drew. Kobe's defensive peak was up there. MJ's defensive peak was up there.
Was it?
Mars, I'm asking you a question. I noticed.
Lonzo and Ben Simmons they're in the top 10-ish range in terms of at their absolute apex defensively.
Mars, do you think D-Wade is overrated defensively?
I think his stocks do overrate him defensively, yes, but I do think he was very good. I think he was. I think he was borderline. Dwayne Wade.
I want to ask you. Did you say
Dwayne Wade was very, very good defensively, but I think his stocks probably overstate how good I think he was. But I do think he was very, very good. Especially
didn't you say he was better than he was in the same tier as Jimmy, or like?
Did I say that?
No, I think you did. No, I'm I think he did because I remember when people were talking about. You remember when Ticket was
Heat Jimmy or Peak Jimmy? Like Heat Jimmy?
I think you said Peak. It was Peak Jimmy because you remember when Ticket was talking about Jimmy would pass D Wade if he won the championship. It was around that time.
It was about as a Heat though, like as a Miami
that
Heat.
was as
defensively.
a Heat. Yeah. I think Jimmy Butler was peak Jimmy defensively. I think is better than Dwayne Wade's peak defensively, but Dwayne Wade's peak defensively was
with Miami.
Was he the best two guard defensively in the league? Am I forgetting anyone crazy?
Tony Allen, no. I don't think during their prime, Tony Allen. I don't think he was ever a better defender than Tony Allen.
How much was Tony Allen playing those years?
I'm about to say, what years we talking about for Tony Allen?
I'm talking like I don't think D-Wade 05, 06, like those years Dwayne Wade, I'm not putting them in those defense conversations. 09, 2010, 2011, those years. Yeah. And I don't know how much Tony Allen was really playing.
That's Memphis Tony Allen.
By 2011 it was. 2010 he was in Boston and stuff.
I'm about to say
2010. Even then in Boston, he was still giving work off the bench. Like he was still one of them dudes.
Enough to I'm about to say enough to have him in that category because he didn't start getting defensive praise.
He just mentioned Caruso.
I'm not mad at
He just mentioned Caruso.
Yeah, I'm not about to argue. Tony Allen got it. Tony Allen got it. Yeah, Tony Allen.
Top two.
Caruso came off the bench like a lot. Like, let's be honest.
But Caruso for sure played more than Tony Allen.
I'm about to say he played more than Tony Allen coming off the bench.
Like, I'm not saying he came off the bench. I'm saying he played more.
But to me, I count that. Like, if I'm playing you in high level situations and you're playing against some of the elite scorers, even when you come off the bench, I still put that on your jacket.
But we're talking about a guy we're talking about a guy at a time who, and again,
Tony Allen was playing like 15 minutes a game.
I'm looking right now, like we're talking about Tony Allen he has.
Old school still playing.
What years are you talking about?
Like
What years are you
23?
talking about specifically, Sturdy? For Tony
Let
Allen.
me see.
We started with 09, so 09 to
I'm talking about
2011.
I'm talking about Memphis. Yeah, so like from 09
So
to
from
until
20
he fell off. Like
2011.
was that
So
2013?
2011 to 20. I mean, in terms of him getting
13?
Oh,
defensive
but
praise,
I'm not taking that
17.
Tony Allen. I'm not taking D Wade in 2012 onwards. Tony Allen got that. I'm not talking about those.
Okay, so you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
You're comparing
Peak for both.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
talking about
confused.
those years. I'm talking about not peak Tony Allen versus peak
Oh.
Dwayne
No.
Wade. I'm talking
Okay, so no,
Dwayne Wade's
so
peak.
Are we
yeah, me-
comparing Dwayne
that
Wade to
year.
Tony
Okay.
Allen or Alex Caruso
no,
to Tony Allen?
okay. No,
No,
I'm
you're
talking
comparing
about
Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade.
Well, it
here
started
was
with Dwayne Wade.
here's the disconnect. I thought Mars saying for majority of Wade's prime, he was saying for majority of Wade's peak. So the way he was peak from 09 to 2011. So that's my fault. I thought when you talk about his prime, that's 2011 to 2013, Tony Allen was better. But if you talk about his peak pre 2011, yeah, D Wade was better
Yeah,
defensively.
that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
In 09 specifically, D Wade may have been the best shooting guard defensively in the league that year and in 2010.
Yeah.
Now, if he wasn't, I'm fine with Tony Allen, but I'm certain he was top 3.
I mean, Tony Allen playing 19 minutes a game. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's why
Caruso plays like 25 minutes. So he
I'm not saying Caruso coming off the bench. He's giving you 20 plus every year. Tony Allen wasn't giving you them numbers until 2011, and that's when he started getting defensive praises. So
Caruso played 29 minutes a game.
We just play that out.
But yeah, that's how high I view D Wade defensively. I think D Wade was great. It's like especially when he became more disciplined in like 08, 09, those years. When he became more disciplined and he wasn't getting blown by as much and he wasn't ball watching as much and he wasn't hunting steals and blocks. That D Wade, that was a very because that rim protection value he's providing at the 2-guard position is invaluable. Similar reason why I think Derek White is so valuable defensive. But
yeah, so
earlier on, I think he gets overstated because of the stats and stuff.
But
I don't think he was all defensive caliber in 05. And I'm pretty sure he made all defense in 05. I don't think he was that good defensively in 05. Wait, let me check. I might be lying. Let me not lie to people. In 05. Yeah, he made all defense the second team his second year in the league. I don't think he was that caliber of defender in 05.
I think Chris Paul gets underrated in some of these conversations.
He's one of the best small defenders I've ever seen, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul was
for
great.
his
Yeah, he
size,
was-
how good he is defensively is amazing.
8:30.
He was-
because he's on the side.
While we're on this
He was
topic, I wanted to ask you guys this because I know you guys are like you guys don't do the tag. Do you think when there's let's say there's 2 defenders, right, and one, I'm gonna just use LeBron and Jordan, right, at their peaks, whatever you think their peak is defensively. If there's the defender who's better than them, but it's close, would you give them the nod because they did more offensively, whereas the other player might did less?
Am I as a player? Am I giving them the nod?
As a player or as a defender?
As a defender, if
No,
let's say
why would I
Jordan
care about them
Yeah.
offensively if we're talking about defense?
Because let me, if I'm wrong, correct me. Because if LeBron or MJ, as those are the examples, were given a lesser offensive burden, they would then be able to be better defensively than the guy who's better than them marginally, but doesn't have the offensive.
Is that what you're
burden.
asking?
Yeah, that was my question.
I'm still saying
Oh,
I'm going with the better defender. The better defender is the better
If I'm
defender.
going-
Hands down.
Yeah, if I'm going with
I understand the perspective, but I'm going with what you showed me you can do. Not
Actually,
what you
this
could
analogy
do
is why
if
I'm
you had
not
a lesser-
very high on LeBron
Yeah.
because if we're
So
using
in theory, in theory, what
He's
Mars
one
and
of
Damo
the-
said. So your answer, LeBron's a better defender.
Go ahead, Amir. And then I got research.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, if I'm using that analogy, I'd be much higher on LeBron as a defender. Like, I'd probably say he's one of the best, if not the best ever, because I've seen him make some unimaginable defensive plays. But I've seen
No, I'm also
LeBron take way too many breaks on defense and long
Oh, yeah.
breaks. I'm not talking even with the Heat. Like, people always bring it up with like the Cavs and Lakers, but even with the Heat, they were always giving the tougher assignments to like Shane Battier. Like, LeBron was never really. I mean, maybe in the Cavs.
Well, he was a
in his
team
career.
defender. He was a team.
He was a team defender.
His main
I
value
know,
was
but
as a team defender.
I hear me out. Even as a team defender, sometimes he took some breaks that he didn't need to take, and I think his peak. I might actually think that
in
in terms of
2018, he
effort,
was taking
in
breaks
terms of
defensively.
effort, I'd say his peak is like 09. He was crazy in 09 as a defender, but his IQ and his studying of the game when he was with the Heat, he was more like reasonable as a defender. Like if I say that, like he was
Can I
practical.
just ask? Can I just ask? When did he take breaks on defense that he didn't deserve? Again, I'm using your words. Breaks he didn't deserve.
He said didn't need to, not deserve.
No, I didn't say
No.
He deserves every single break he. No, he deserves every
Yes,
single.
I was listening to him. I didn't want to cut him off. He literally said,
"Let me rewind the tape."
Rewind it. He said he took breaks on defense that he didn't deserve, and I was ready to cut him off, but I wanted to.
I'm a re-listen because I ain't hear that. So.
Re-listen. Go keep going. Re-listen.
If
Mark.
you're wrong,
tell me if I'm
pulling up the clip of our own.
Hey. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I promise you, he said breaks he didn't deserve.
If I said it, then I misworded it because I do believe he deserves every single break he's ever.
I thought he said need to though. I'm not gonna lie.
I
just want to know what that means.
I'm being honest, bro. Like,
I just want to know what that means.
Oh yeah,
I
wasn't
comparing.
That's what I'm
saying.
No, I know he wasn't comparing Jordan. I know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I was. If I said deserve, I misworded. I do believe he deserves every single break he's taken. Like, he's carrying more offensive load than anybody. But in terms of just being like his overall production for
Upon review, Amir's words were because I said this is what I said. I said he was a team defender though because he spoke about Shane Battier taking assignments, and then he said even as a team defender, he sometimes took breaks that he didn't need to take. That was his
He won the challenge, Damo. He won the challenge, bro. He won the challenge.
Why are you telling me to prove something?
You don't get another challenge, bro. You don't get.
I said even if I said it, I didn't mean it.
Damo trying to challenge the challenge.
Challenge flag to the challenge flag. Roll the clip.
Damo. It's my second language.
Let me actually share the clip. We're gonna actually watch this. We're gonna get that.
Are you serious now?
That's for our content.
This is like VAR now.
We gonna get to the
film.
Challenge the place.
So everyone can see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. This is about 20 seconds
when he was with the Heat. He was more like
okay, we're getting to it.
Reasonable as a defender, like if I say that. Like he was practical.
Can I just ask? Can I just ask?
Oh wait, no.
When did he take breaks?
My fault.
Like, LeBron was never really. I mean, maybe in the Cavs.
He was a team defender. Oh, he was a team.
He was a team defender.
Hear me out. Even as a team defender, sometimes he took some breaks that he didn't need to take, and I think
is that enough evidence?
Hey, Damo, that's his ball. That's his ball. That's his ball.
Upon further review, the challenge has failed. I felt my.
There we go.
You lost the challenge, Damo.
Yeah, and Domo, it's my second language. Give me a break. Come on. Even if I said unfixable.
I gotta press everybody like they football now because apparently we only press football. So I gotta press everybody like they football.
Quality. But I do have to read super chats. Shout out to Domo for being wrong. Al Domo. Question for Domo actually.
Yeah.
Who is the Tatum of Let's Keep It About, Domo?
Sage. Niggas hate Sage. The streets hate Sage for whatever reason.
Niggas hate Sage?
Niggas hate. Look in the comments. Niggas hate Sage, and he's genuinely. If we're taking Bisso's resume away from him, so the longevity. If you're just talking about current peaks individually, he's the biggest LKIB member by far. But for whatever reason, niggas hate him in the community.
Be put off by him.
Damn, he's like the least controversial.
Yeah, he's always trying to avoid controversy. That's why he gets like criticized.
He's trying to avoid controversy.
You get hate for that too. Niggas find anything to hate on.
Doesn't give a fuck for anyone.
He beat the controversy to a fault. Like he don't want to get clipped in any bad light. And sometimes it's like, man, let that bitch fly, bro.
Yeah.
No, man, I respect it. These clips be annoying as hell. You be seeing how far out context it gets taken, and then you getting cooked for something you ain't really say. I'm like,
and Damo like, yo, white tee too clean, bro. Man,
not even. Nah, because when niggas be like, where do you stand with Israel Palestine? That nigga, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I just don't want to offend nobody. Me.
Oh no, that's crazy.
cares?
Free Palestine. What we talking about? Free Palestine. Free
Who
Palestine.
cares? Who cares?
Free
That's how I feel.
Since
I don't care. That's what. Clip that. That's what I mean.
Thought,
Like,
yeah, I thought
sometimes
you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Boston. Like,
sometimes
never
you
mind.
gotta-
Free Palestine.
sometimes you gotta
Free
stand
Palestine.
on your nuts. Stand on your nuts, like
I'm
I
with
said.
that. I'm with that. Would you guys
Oh,
trade
man.
Randall for Ayton straight up?
No.
Ew.
I don't know why
What
either
the
team would
fuck?
do that.
What?
I don't know why either team would do that.
What?
That's such a negative move for both teams.
Bro, I think Tibbs would hate Aiden. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know why either team
Yeah.
would do that. Ayton has maybe the worst motor in the league,
Yeah.
and Julius Randle might have the
Tibbs-
second worst motor in the league.
Tibbs will
That
not
nigga gonna
play
spend the
Aiden.
whole season in New York with no bed. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Hey. That'd be
Oh,
cool.
that's
Cultured Bandit, no longer Cultured Sonda. Shout out to the Bandits. Football really crushing out over LeBron. W.
Yes, he
19 Butterman 98 with more super chats. This is the same one who sent the
Shout out
$50 super
Butterman.
chat. So shout out to Butterman. Must be payday. I don't know. Shout out to you, man. He said if
Butterman got
Embiid
deep
wasn't
pockets.
drafted, he said, yeah, I'm not fucking watching though. But if you want to send more super chats, send more super chats. But he said if Embiid wasn't drafted by Philly, he would have a more respectable game.
What does that mean?
I don't think so.
The market of Philadelphia or alongside foul baiting and free throws and maybe. If he was in Charlotte, I don't know if people would care, but
I'm an Eagles
Nah.
fan. Philadelphia
this
media
game
is
change
terrible.
based on the team?
people just don't respect foul baiting. Like James Harden and Joel Embiid are so
I
comparable.
mean,
in
they
terms of the hate
respected
got
it when
against.
Kobe was doing it.
But
No,
I
but
think
they weren't doing it to 12 free throws.
But I think what you call it. I think if Joel Embiid goes anywhere, he's still going to develop the same way into a big foul baiter. Like I don't think going to Philly is what made him a foul baiter. Like I think wherever he goes, he would have still had the same talent, same trajectory. Maybe certain heights might have been different where he goes in certain rounds of the playoffs. Maybe might be different, but he's still going to be like, I'm about to foul bait and get to the free throw line every time.
I think certain things of like willingness to pass, though. I think those are the things that he just doesn't have because of the team that he's on. So, like him having.
Does Philly have a history of teaching foul baiting?
No.
But they have a history of guys who got to the free throw line a bunch, but foul baiting.
Yeah.
But
it's just
speaking
like
of
with
Philly's
that-
history, sorry, but
No,
you
go
do
ahead.
have to get through this.
Yeah, I know.
Butterman said again, as a matter of fact, Philly has never had a superstar with a respectable winning game / playstyle since Dr. J and Moses. AI and Embiid is the definition of an NBA superstar with all bark, no bite.
That's not true.
Oh wow,
That's not true. AI's game was respected. Niggas respected AI's game.
AI's game was so respected that he's probably overrated because of it.
Thank you. Niggas over respect that nigga's game, honestly.
Bro, it's because they don't remember that.
And I'm sorry, Moses Malone game is the opposite. That if we're talking about
Yeah,
unethical
if
buckets for
there was social
Embiid,
media-
Moses Malone was a free throw merchant who missed shots on purpose to stat pad. I'm sorry, he was.
If there was social media with
I ain't
Moses
gonna lie,
Malone,
the
you'd
way
be
people
cooked.
hate on Angel Reese, they would do the same thing.
Moses Malone
He's
is like
he's with
the
Angel
thing,
Reese
the
took
thing people
inspiration
hated
from.
Andre Drummond's for, and the things people hate Angel Reese for, alongside the things people hate Embiid for, alongside the things people hate Jokic for, which is bad defense, all in one. Like that's what he was. But somehow
Moses would be cooked by social media.
Oh no, not
Dr.
somehow.
J-
The film ain't
Dr.
there.
J would be glazed by social
that
media.
man Moses would be hated in today's game. But I digress.
By the way, every one of his super chats was a hate comment.
Hey, but we got 3 more.
Hey,
He
keep
said
hanging.
the last 5 years LeBron has been riddled with nagging injuries, but the last 15 he was quite healthy, quite literally Iron Man. Played 70 plus games every year for 15 years. Yeah, the last 5 years. I mean, this year he was healthy, right? He played over 70 this year. But the previous years before that, yeah, he's been slowing down. He's been more human in terms of injuries, but
which makes sense for a nigga his age.
He
He's like
recover
28.
faster than anyone.
Like about damn time, yeah. Like
Most players recover very slowly. When
this
they're
isn't
that
a hate comment. You just lied in.
His only like major injury was 2019.
Yeah,
right?
He said in terms of talent, Wemby is top 5 all time already. I think talent is determined by the moment you step in the league. Can't become more talented. So yeah, Wemby's top 5 all time already. Wemby to me is a top 10 player now, and next year will be top 5 in the league. 48 wins, 25, 13, 5, 1.7, and 4.2. 4.2 blocks, by the way.
Shout out to Wemby.
I doubt he puts up those numbers, and I doubt they win 48 games, but I am here to see what Wemby looks like next season.
I'm gonna say, if that is year 2 for Wemby,
yeah, but I'm also scared.
We're on a scary trajectory. We're on a scary
I'm learning French, buddy. I'm learning
Bro,
French.
I'm also scared if Wemby if Wemby has like a
I have a question about Wemby after this. You can
We
ask
have a
him.
minute to go, but sure.
I was gonna
No,
say if Wemby has a subpar year, I'm low-key scared like how people gonna switch up on him. But That's it. That's all.
In year
Oh,
two,
they're
they
gonna
better
switch
not
up so
man.
quick.
They better not switch. Quick,
As
also Wemby
long as
question.
as long
Quick.
as the defense comes, they're gonna
You
switch up
remember
so
last
quick.
time we were talking about what Wemby can improve, and people are talking things like have an offensive game of KD. I said if he can get to the rim like Giannis. What's the
Yes.
most unrealistic? Means you don't see any signs of that. But if you have to take a guess that one thing he will add to the game which will literally take him to the next level, what would that thing be?
The most unrealistic thing.
The most unrealistic shooting
Means
like
there
Curry.
is no sign, but if you had to choose that he can add this, what would
Be strong like Shaq. I don't know.
Oh, I mean,
Or
yeah,
be
that is
strong.
unrealistic.
Yeah, or super
That
strong.
is unrealistic. Yeah,
Either like
he is physically
really-
imposing as Shaq. That is
Yeah.
unrealistic. A KD level mid range game is also crazy unrealistic.
If
I
he
think the
would be
mid-range
able
could- I
to
think the
be
mid-range
like
could happen.
300
Not
pounds
KD,
strong as
but I think
Shaq
the
and
mid-range
still
game
be
could happen.
You're
mobile,
acting like KD's mid-range game isn't like
It's the best
No,
ever.
no,
Like, what was
no,
it?
it
Like,
is.
yeah, but
I'm like,
it's unrealistic that he's gonna get to KD level. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
if I
wrong
say
answers.
shoot like Steph, like it's unrealistic.
All wrong answers. All wrong answers. The only right answer: LeBron longevity.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
if that happens, he's the
that
goat.
is insane.
I'm not gonna lie.
you got-
Domo just cooked.
Alright.
Domo just cooked. That was an
Yeah,
amazing.
that
answer.
one.
That
That
was
one's
amazing.
pretty. That one's pretty.
That was
good.
amazing. That was an amazing answer.
That
But
makes sense.
you're now getting cooked by Butterman 98, Domo. I know the
Uh-oh.
Dolphin fans ain't talking about defense because you ain't got any. Third in the division, Dolphins with Tyreek retiring next year for esports. LOL.
Another
one,
head comment.
Our defense. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hating on our defense when our best corner did not play until the end of the season. The corner that we did have that was our best corner had so many flaws and was an off the field menace. And we're an offensive team, buddy. Like, I don't know what you're trying to get off with this Rudy Poo ass logic of our defense when we're the best show on turf, the best offense in the NFL. Like, who cares? When you're scoring like us, who gives a fuck about defense? Just give us warm weather.
Shout out to the Pacers, man. Final super chat. Harden is in my top 10 behind another GOAT, Kobe. Shout out to Mo for the super chat. Thank you guys for watching. Also, shout out to Butterman98 for the super chats and sponsoring the show. You may have just sent enough for me to be able to pre-order 2K. So shout out to you.
You're sick.
Will there be a draft on
yeah.
Friday?
Huh?
Will there be a draft on Friday?
Yeah, there will be a draft on Friday, but Domo's coming up with the idea, so you got to ask him what it's going to be. But yeah, there will be a draft on Friday, unless Domo doesn't come up with one.
Oh no, I already got the draft idea.
There we go. There will be a draft on Friday. We'll spoil it for maybe Thursday. Maybe we'll spoil it on Thursday. Maybe
I think
we'll
Thursday.
That will be my redemption draft. I will.
But
make
yeah,
it
we'll see
last time.
you guys on Thursday. Thank you guys for watching. Also, PCL tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern. Go watch that. Also, I will be doing some NBA trivia thing, with the likes of Low and
KB.
B Souls and KB and other familiar faces tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. So tap into that if you're interested.
Your channel?
Where?
No, it will be on not Gifted. KB's playback, the gold-blooded playback channel. It will be there.
Okay.
Go tap into that if you're interested. I will be representing the Houston Rockets as a diehard Houston fan. So yeah,
Who may or
tap
may
into
not
that.
switch up next season, but
Tap into that. That should be interesting. But yeah, PCL tomorrow. I'm on the PCL on Sunday against Pirate. Tap into that. And also I will be back on my YouTube channel soon. So tap into that too. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy New Year. See you guys.